Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Synth Geekery 181. Yeah, I'm going to do the cheesy jokes. By the way, if you didn't know what 181 meant, it means the metric version of 69. Yep, we can have laughter, we can have applause, we can have anything you like. We can just have the whole thing. Yep. We're going to do the bad jokes and we're going to do synthy stuff as well. Well, more synthy stuff than bad jokes because otherwise no one's going to be here watching it. Anyway, so have a great time in the next couple of hours because we've got the usual guests coming. They'll be here soon. But also we're going to be mucking around with CV and, well, why CV? We're not picking on CV. Well, we need to pick on CV because CV can be very handy for us in the synthesizer world. Not just eurorack, also with your desktop synth CDs, a big part of it. So we need to see what it can do. And I'm not going to profess that I'm an expert and I'm here to lecture you guys on this stuff because me, simple grasshopper, I'm just here to sort of get some feedback from you guys. You guys can, you know, push me around, tell me what you want to see, but I'll probably show a couple of things anyway. So we'll get stuck in that. If you're new here, which is probably you right now watching this live, please jump into the chat room and say hi. Tell us where you're from, because it's all over the world. And if you're wondering where I'm from, and I've got this weird accent, yes, you may have picked it, I'm from Australia. In fact, I'm actually from Perth, which is right across on the western side of Australia. Pretty remote place. Yet we do have internet here. No, we're not full of convicts. Yes, kangaroos do jump around, but not in my front yard. So, and we'll probably be doing some crikey jokes a bit later, don't worry. But if you are Australian, please also tell us where you're from in Australia, because I'd like to see if I'm actually reaching some people in my own country. It'd be nice to see. And if you're anywhere else, like, I don't know, let's pick a random place in the world. Central states of the US, like Midwest or somewhere around there. If you tell us you're from there, I'm just picking a random place just for shits and giggles. Say hi, tell us what you're up to this week. Remember, Saturdays are Synthy days, so we always say, if you're not pressing record and getting into your synth stuff, then you're not doing it right. So make sure you do. Okay, let's have a look at chatties. We have, wow, lots of you guys already, and it's good to see you guys coming at the early time now, because you know there's stuff happening. So, Merbert's from Melbourne. Well done. Here in Victoria, in Australia. Well done. Melbourne is the you know, the capital of sport in Australia and all other cool things. I do dig Melbourne. Where else? We've got a whole bunch of you guys have jumped in. Let's say hello to all of you. I think Dazza was first, Intergalactic Federation. He's one of our older members, which is awesome. Not older as in age, older as in long-time member. Been a long-time member of the show. And I really do appreciate you guys sticking around. It means a lot to me. We've also got JP Page 2, Roy Strobel. Nice to see you guys. One of our regular guests, JX3D, also one of our channel supporters, channel members. Channel membership is awesome. We'll talk about that in a minute. Culture of Ghosts is there. Hello to you. Cresshead, good to see you, mate. Martin Taylor, nice to see you. Steve Ward, another one of our channel members. G'day, everyone, he says. And it's g'day to you too, mate. Who else? We have, you guys are all saying hello. Future World Machines, a big supporter of the channel. Nice to have you, mate. Really good to have all the supporters here. Corrosive Abuser, good to see you. Geert's there, says hello to everyone. Who else? Kev Human. He's been throwing darts, apparently. I don't know what that means, but anyway. Hello to Kev. And Azio Headbert's there, saying hello to everyone all in one post. Good on you, matey. Nice to have you. Path Lakes there, big hello to you. Merbert, we mentioned before. Who else? Half God, Half Beast is there, yes. So we've got a few people already, and I know there's more than that. So if you're in chat, you're kind of, you know, the best people are in chat. We've got Makeshifter, who's Chris. Big hello to you. I know he's a local person from Australia, so that's good to see. Andrew McKenzie, big first timer here. Well done, mate. Big welcome to you. Let me just put my ugly mug in the corner so it's not just a chat window. Yeah, good to have you, and tell us what sort of synths you love and anything like that. Ottawa, Canada, wow, fantastic. And all the guys in chat will welcome you too, mate. We're a pretty good family here of like-minded people, I would say. So yeah, good to see you. Right, now, where was I? I was kind of somewhere down here, wasn't I? Boom. Right, so what we're going to do today, oh, by the way, I can't forget about this. Before we get into synths, don't worry, there's synths here. Before we get into them and CV and stuff like that, I want to ask you guys a couple of questions. Number one is, do you guys notice how much news there is this week? Isn't it weird? Last week was like crickets with news. In other words, hardly any news. There was a bit. We did a little bit. I probably sort of put a Debbie Downer. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of news this week. So I don't know how we're going to get through it all, but we're going to have a good hard crack, as they say in Australia, good hard crack at it. You know, if we get through it, then we get through it. So that's going to take up a fair chunk of the show, and that'll be happening at the second hour once we get into that part. But whilst we're waiting for that to happen, we definitely are going to get into the synthy stuff in probably a couple of seconds. Big, massive thank you to all of the channel supporters. And just while I've got you guys up, I haven't actually double checked this. I'm pretty sure this is up to date, but just in case, here's a big thank you to, early big thank you to all the people that support me. Here we go. And also to anyone who doesn't support me financially, you guys have been a regular member for many, many years. Also, a big thank you to you guys as well. So let's get stuck into it. So what are we going to do today? We are going to do some CV stuff. And I've done CV stuff before, and I kind of feel it's important. And if you're kind of playing with your synths and you want some weirder ways to control them, then maybe this might inspire you. I don't know, maybe it might make you run away. Probably the latter. Anyway, don't worry about this. We're not going to be using that. That's just there because that's the camera that's in front of me. What we are going to be looking at, maybe what we'll look at first is, I don't know, contact mics are pretty cool. I've got this Mutable Instruments ears. I actually picked it up during the week, and it was actually a bit of a spur of the moment purchase. Used, I got it. Local bloke here in Perth. G'day to you if you're watching. And I've always wanted one, and I've kind of, I don't know, I just kind of haven't got off my butt and got one until this week. So let's have a closer look at this. What is it? Well, it does a couple of cool things. Underneath that copper circular looking thing there, if you don't know, it's a contact mic, and you can probably hear it's already picking me up just touching the side of the case. So it's pretty sensitive. You can actually bang it. Is that all it does? No, it does a bit more than that. It has an audio input, so you can actually feed audio into this instead of using the contact mic, and then that can actually use the features with the envelope and the gate. It's got some smarts in here, so if you do feed it something, let's say we feed it the pocket operator, all right, that's got a bit of noise coming in. It'll disconnect, so it won't make any sound now. And if I press play on here, we got sound or what? What we got? Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to do something else. One second. What we'll do is, instead of going out of there, we'll go, where can we go? We'll go into one of these connections here, I reckon. Let's plug that out for a sec, and let's see if this works. All right. Now it's expecting a gate. Right, that's probably why it's not working. It's expecting a gate. Let's give it a gate. Okay, because I've got this synced up. I need a cable for gate. Give me a cable. Gate is right next to it. Right, now I've got some sound coming out of this. Let's take that out and let's plug that back into the rings module. So that is now processing that as an audio thing. But you can also get it to process it as a gate. So why don't we do that for some fun? Let's process as a gate. What can we set as a gate? We'll take that out as a gate. We'll put that in as a gate. And then we should get some gatey stuff happening. You can see it gating there. So that's pretty cool. So you can use external audio as a gate. All right. I didn't really kind of dwell on that sort of stuff. It's a little bit boring, but I just thought I'd show you. Now, let's go back to using this thing as what it was intended. Contact mic, because contact mics are cool and you can get all kind of cool stuff out of that. Right, so contact mic stuff. If you're wondering, I do have this plugged into a Rings module. I'm using Rings module because I kind of feel like Rings is a good module. Let's actually have a look at that actually while we're here. Rings is a good module because you can play with, where's Rings gone? It's called Ranzee in my case, but it's a Rings clone. There it is there. There it is there, right? So if I can just touch this with my finger, right? And you can see it triggering. Let me just turn the light off for a sec so you can see it better. There we go. Actually, it really doesn't make any difference, does it? I might turn it back on. I think it's better. Oops. Right. Now, let's change a few things on this. That's just changing the brightness and the damp. All right, so let's go back to, let's leave that going for a sec. I want a bit of a release on here, and let's go back to here, and let's grab a rubber band. And we'll plug a rubber band around here, just around some of these cables, and we'll pluck it. It should pick up the rubber band if I pluck it. How cool is that? And then you can hear that tailing on it, it's beautiful. Change the dampness on that. That rubber band was lingering. The other thing you can do, get rid of the rubber band. Whoa, loud. Get something little, like a pick from a guitar. I'm just using this little bit of plastic here. Let's change the frequency. So that's what that's for. Contact mics. Let's see what you guys are saying about contact mics. I think this is the button. Sorry. 6 AM for David. Wow, you can actually hear my voice as I get closer to the contact mic. That's actually insane. Let's turn that gain down. Right. What do you guys think of the ears? I mean, you could do a lot of cool stuff with it. So I just thought, yeah, when you're thinking about it, this is generating audio from the output, but also CV from the envelope and the output. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to use the envelope on this thing. And the envelope I'm going to use as a strum connection, and then I'm also going to use a volts per octave on that. So now on the, let's go back up here. I might actually have this connected somewhere. Let me just see if I've got this. There we go. So you can see over here, I've got variegate sending off both gate and pitch sequence, right? But I'm not using the gate on this. I'm just going to use the pitch, and that's again plugged in to the volts per octave connection here. But then this little red cable is going into ears, which we had here, right? And every time there's a little envelope generator in this, and you can adjust that with, and you can also make noise with it. Or you can really just tap the side of your case. Let's see if we can do it to a beat. And we can adjust that envelope a little bit. Now we can change the timbre of it a bit. So you've got some manual control. I mean, it's not necessarily a CV control, but I thought that was pretty cool. That's a pretty cool feature. And then obviously you can record that. That can be recorded into CV recording. Now, I thought today we might have time to be doing CV recording, but I might actually leave CV recording for next week, because I think we need to do almost like a whole segment on that, because I actually want to show you guys the expert sleeper stuff here. And just with my case here, you will see, let me just bring up a different camera angle. I have got the Expert Sleepers ES8 audio interface here. It's a bit messy, you can't see it, but there it is there. And I've also got this ES5 expander next to it. Now, the only problem I've got right now is the ribbon cable that comes with this is tiny. It's like 15 centimeters. It's really, really short, and it doesn't reach there. So I'm actually making myself during the week, I'll make myself a longer, like a 30 centimeter cable for that. The reason why I need that is so I can use the DC coupled ports on that, and then we can play with audio CV recording, which is going to be cool fun. So I think we'll do that next week. Okay, so keeping an eye on what you guys are saying. Yeah, contact mics. Who's got an ears? Let us know in chat if you've got an ears already. That sequencer is still running. I can just turn that off and it won't do that anymore. It'll just play that note. Yeah. Next thing we're going to do is some other different sort of CV stuff. And in a way, there's a module here that does do CV recording, and I'll show you this module right now. I'm just going to get the camera onto it. Is it this button? And that's the Planar2. I've talked to you guys about this before. This is this module here, and this module is a joystick control, and you can do kind of cool things with this joystick control. You can have kind of filter and pitch. Probably the most common would be like a sort of mod wheel to pitch wheel sort of thing, like a vector synth type stuff. But the other cool thing about it is you can actually record. There's a record buffer and play back your movements on it. And this is all CV, and it's all, believe it or not, it's all analog except for the digital part that records it. But the actual CV and everything's all analog, which I think is actually pretty neat. Right, so in order for us to do this, we are going to disconnect Strum, sorry Strum, we loved you. We'll put the sequencer back into you and we'll turn you off. So it's not going to make any more noise there. We're going to use the oscillator here in System 100. Now, God, I can't even remember how to use this bloody thing. Right, so we're going to go A, and A can go to CV, B. So A can go to filter, and B can go to pitch. Let's see if we can do some weird stuff. Pitch, or should we do pitch? Yeah, we'll do FM. I'll do FM on here, and that means we can control it with a potentiometer. Let me just move the camera a little bit, actually. To do that, I need to zoom out a little bit, go left a little bit, zoom out a bit more. Just want you guys to be able to see a bit more. Is the oscillator not quite? Oh yeah, the oscillator's there. Cool. So you can see the oscillator, and you can see, so you can see the red cable going into the filter, and you can see the yellow cable going to the oscillator. All right, now we should give this a something. We'll give it something. All right, let's give it a sequence so that I don't have to keep playing it, and I'll bring up this. Oh, I've lost my gate, haven't I? That's what I need to put back in. Where's my gate? I need a gate. All right, here we go. All right, now, which one is, I think I've got these in the wrong way. There we go. Right, so you don't need to see this oscillator anymore. We're going to bring that back into where we had it before. All right, let's say we want to record this. All right, now we can play it back. Now this is all analog, so I can control this. And I'm just controlling it with the FM control. Just here. So you can pretty cool. So turn that off and let's lose that. So yeah, so that is some CV controls. Now the cool thing about Planar2 obviously is that it has more than just two. It has C and D, which because you've got X, Y, and you've got sort of A to the center, B, C, and then D, and it can record a whole thing, which I find actually pretty useful because you may want to send, you know, I just did pitch and filter, but you may want to send that could be a gate when it goes down to C, and that might enable something. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff you can do with it. And then on top of that, there's a whole bunch of modes in here. You can loop it, you can invert the whole thing. So there's a pretty easy way to invert the thing if I remember rightly. I think it was just this button here. There you go. And just play it. And then hopefully we bring that up again. And then change it back. So some digital controls in there, which I thought were pretty cool. Now, the other cool thing I liked about this is, so obviously the manual control's cool, the recording of it's cool. It's got CV controls on some of the inputs, so you can bring gates into this. And you can actually send out the mix of the whole thing. So the whole external out is the top row here. And you can bring things to control the inputs as well. So in terms of CV controls, what are you guys using? I mean, we're going to go and have a look at some other stuff in a sec, but what are you guys using CV control-wise? Let us know in the chat what you're using. What's your favorite go-to CV control? So James has asked, you could create your own LFOs with that. Absolutely, absolutely. So let me see if I can show you that while we're at it. I'll just actually put this up in the corner there. It does not really need to be full screen. If we bring that little sequence back in, right, now we don't want pitch this time, so I'm going to take the pitch off. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to field the A part of it, which is this diagonal part here. Actually, why don't we swap you guys over? I'll go to there. Okay. Now, if we had a beat, like, we can do this to a beat, I guess. Let's see if we can get some sort of. There you go. I don't know if it's looping properly. It's losing its ability. It was kind of going crazy, but you get the idea. So that is kind of like an LFO in a way, and it's kind of like a weird, you know, gatey sort of wave shapey LFO. We could probably put that through this. We could put that through data actually. Let's have a look what that looks like on data. Have I got a long enough cable here? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yes, I do. I can put that through data. Let's play that through data. Hello, data. And we can come out of data and come back in so we can hear it. Oh, the beauty of coolness. Right, where's data gone? Data has gone, where's the closest data? There. You guys probably aren't going to be able to see data that well. Anyway, let's enable data, turn it on. And why is it not reading anything? Oh yeah, there it is. All right, let's see if we can get this looking a bit better. Oops. Change the voltage. 1 second. And then DC position. Okay, that'll do us. Right. And time, if we increase the time, we can actually see this thing. There you go. Now, you guys aren't going to see that just yet. Just give me a sec. I knew I had my hand in the way. Oops, wrong one. Data, come back, data. There. Back to here. Zoom in. Go across. Zoom in a bit more. That's literally that thing that I just recorded on Planner. Is that going to help you guys see it better? There you go. There it is, that's what it looks like, and this is what it sounds like. It's always good to visualize stuff anyway. You guys probably can't hear that, it's probably too quiet. Because I didn't have the thing started, that's why. Let's turn all these drums off. Let's get this back to there you go. Why don't we try something different instead of that? Let's try. Let me just create a virtual input of data so I can come back to it. If I click on that, you can see me doing. You can have some infinite fun with that module, I swear. That is so cool, that module. And then recording all that stuff. Okay, we got some people here. One person here. Andy's here. Hello, Andy. Mute head. No. No. Try something again. While you're doing that, you can tap on the mic and I'll hear you anyway. So while you're doing that, I'll go back to the chatties. So let's have a listen. Let's have a good look at what you guys are saying. Yeah, Oizo, exactly. So the cool thing about these sort of things is you can mix CV as well. I'm going to actually show you guys how to do that in a sec. Once you start, I kind of, where I got this topic from was last week. And I don't know if you guys remember, last week we were talking about the make noise math. And I had an envelope coming out. And then I also had trapezoid coming from the LFO of Batumi module. And I'll show you guys that in a sec, but that's two CV controls triggering a gate on a filter, which I thought was really, really cool. So that's kind of what I mean by mixing. So you could use the Planar2 and mix it with an LFO, or we're going to also have a look at oscillators as well if we get a sec. Kev Human's saying he got sent on a course about CVs once, turned up with Eurorack case, but this woman just kept asking about my work history. Wow, I wonder why. Did you find out why? Maybe she wanted you to work for her. Git saying Intellijel Planar2 is 379 euros. Flame Quad CV Recorder is 415 euros. Erica Synth Black Joystick 2 is 248. There's a few others, I think, if you go to Modular Grid. Well, actually, we should check it out in a sec, because not a bad actual idea to actually see what is actually out there modular grid-wide for joystick control, I think, anyway. You guys may not agree. So if we go modular grid, log me in, go to here, click on joystick and see what joystick stuff comes up. Wow, look at all this cool joystick stuff. The manipulator, we showed that. If we show this in terms of newest, see how I've sorted this newest, right? This is the newest module. That doesn't have a joystick. Oh yeah, it does have a joystick. Let's have a look. This is a formant filter with a joystick cut off beat on the bandpass and the two bandpasses. Now that would be an interesting module. This one here was the manipulator, which is kind of like a crazy CV control thing. And I dig this. It's got two joysticks on it. So that's pretty cool. The sticky joystick from Error Instruments, 75 euros. There's, what do you got there? X and Y. It's not that much control on that, but it's not a bad price if you just want X and Y. It's about half a planner, basically, and about the ability to record. Imaginary Friend by Error Instruments. Error Instruments are doing some cool stuff, eh? Wow, look at this thing. Complex Experimental Synthesizer. Okay, so this is actually a synth. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. So joystick does FX, and you can use that to... Looks like it's self-patched, but you can also use it to send stuff out as well. That's cool. The Joy module by PH Modular is one of those. That's like one, if you ever wonder, if you see these particular types of joysticks, that is kind of like a video industry joystick, like a camera jog joystick. And you can tell because it has the top of the joystick you can actually rotate, and then you can move the joystick X, Y, as well, but you can actually rotate the top. So, and you can actually see with that, this is actually a module that I actually thought of building once when I saw these video joysticks. You can buy them off AliExpress or Alibaba for, I don't know, really cheap. They're pretty cheap. And looking at the price of that module, it's actually pretty damn cheap. 72 euros. I mind actually getting that. That twisty thing, and then the movement is really kind of cool. What else? The ones that you guys mentioned, like the black joystick from Erica Synths, 210 euros according to Modular Grid. That is pretty similar to the Planar2, but not as much in it. And wow, infernal noise. Oh, it's discontinued. Let's not show discontinued stuff because it's not really much point. And there's the Dope for One, which once again has that similar sort of joystick. The Dope for One's pretty cool, just saying. So price of the Dope for One, 150 euros, joystick 2. So check that out. You guys are screaming at me saying, what about this one? What about that? I haven't showed it. But yeah, just go on. If you guys want to look at this, just go into Modular Grid and just type joystick in the search box, and there are stacks in there for you guys to look at. Andy, is your voice working yet? No, it's not working yet. Trust me when I say it's not working yet. Let's see the look of disappointment. Reconnect if you want. Reconnect. That might help. You never know. The old turn it off and on. They're all yelling, turn it off and on. Come on, Andy. You work in IT. Who else we got? Darren's here. Hello, Darren. Darren's just joined us. He can't even hear us yet.
I can.
Yeah, you can?
Yeah.
Good.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hear me? I've been having issues with flipping earbuds wouldn't pair for some reason. Another classic one. Every time for the last
Bluetooth.
year, they've perfectly just paired up straight away. But today, nope.
Yeah, I get that sometimes with I can't remember the name of the brand of the earpods, the Bluetooth things that I recently bought, because I don't have that problem with them anymore. But I use the Apple, I can't remember which version of the Apple, it's probably AirPod 2 or something like that. And those things would do my head in. They would literally just disconnect and reconnect to something else. if you've got it paired to multiple things like an iPad and an iPhone or something like that. Brooksy, you're connected. Good to see. And we're just missing...
We're all connected.
Just missing one more. Look, one more spot to go. Geez, the CV stuff is so big. It's such a big topic. But I just kind of wanted to show a few things. Anyway, like, you guys are just coming in. Darren, what did you see so far? Have you seen anything, or you just rocked up?
I've had it on, but I've been in and out the room, so... Yeah, I'm that too. We're all having issues. Why does that happen? Why does everything run fine, and then as soon as we come on...
So did you see me mucking around with ears?
I didn't see... No, because his is no longer available, is it?
No, this is a mutable. Yeah. Well, it's mutable, and it's music things. It's a collaboration between mutable and music things. So, yeah. But that was just a real sort of... When I said I'm not buying anything, I purchased that during the week. It is used. So, yeah. Hopefully, Andy is in Synth Addict is reconnecting. Ian, you seem to be okay. And Brooksy, you seem to be okay.
Can you hear me
well.
okay?
Okay.
All right, you can hear me.
Yours is coming through your webcam, Brooksy. It's definitely coming through.
What's that, sorry?
I don't think it's coming through that. No.
No, it's cam.
Coming through your webcam.
Is this thing on?
See? So
Yay!
it's not perfect.
See?
Oh.
Look at that, Andy.
Wow.
It's working.
Well, I messed it up last week doing some other recording stuff, so it's my fault.
Just blame yourself. Say, self, I'm in trouble.
I'm an idiot. Thank you.
No, you're not. You're far from one of them. Yeah, so guys, we're looking at...
I have to play this now.
How's that, Ranz?
Oh, let's see.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better, mate.
Yeah, you're on the mic.
Coming through that.
Yep.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. Don't know why that was the...
Now, am I too loud?
Forgotten me. But...
Tell us in chat about the audio, because I tend to sometimes think I'm too loud compared to everyone else, and I don't like that. From what I can hear...
Shouting.
That's just me going deaf, I think. Hey, what's that? Hey? Tell us in chat if you think all our volumes are okay, and if anyone needs to come up, let us know which one needs to come up. I'll keep an eye on it. And we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That one. Phew.
And how are we, gents?
We're good. Thanks, Ian. How's yourself?
Good day, Ian. Andy.
Yeah, good.
Brooksy, I hope you're feeling a bit better, mate. Are you still a bit poorly?
No, I'm not. No, actually,
you don't sound it.
I'm feeling really crap. Thanks. That's good. I'm glad about that. Cheers. Who are you?
Darren will never be a nurse.
Let's see.
No. Get out of that bed.
Look, yeah. Yeah, look, you don't look like you've got long left and fade.
You've only got pancreatic cancer.
You need lots of Lemsip, Andy.
I'm dosed up on paracetamol as it is. I can't get rid of this chuffing cold. It's doing my head in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's a bit of it going around. Like, I've got some friends that have had a cold that's just lingered.
I seem to have had it for almost 12 months now. That's
well, it's been on and off for you,
I've said it before.
Mm.
Yeah, since I got COVID
It's
in
getting mixed
December,
in with COVID,
just,
isn't it? Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, but I keep doing these tests. They keep coming back negative. So it's not that. It's just
don't the new variants don't show on the new
snotty.
test? They don't show on the test anyway now.
Is that right?
They don't really
deliberately making it so we can't see.
The thing is, they don't really have proper tests for long COVID yet. It's just basically, here's a list of possible symptoms it could be that might mean that you've got it.
Yeah.
And it's really just guesstimate science right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
isn't
they
it
were
also the
absolutely
variants have changed that much now that the original tests that they get that they don't really work because the virus has changed.
Yeah, the rapid
that
antigen
test
tests.
window.
Yeah. The rapid antigen tests don't really they test. You've got Omicron in the rapid antigen test now, but there's new variants that they don't test for. So it could possibly be a new variant. What's that place in Boston doing friggin' virus variant, like, stop doing this to humans. Stop doing things that kill us. Please. Stop inventing things that kill us.
That said, looking at Andy, that's the state of our flipping country. So that's probably why he's feeling worse.
Oh, no, you guys corrected during the week. You had a little correction. That was good.
A little correction.
A little correction.
You mean the lettuce?
Liz. See you, Liz.
Oh, yeah. For those of you that don't know,
a
tabloid. Yeah, a tabloid called The Star, which is a terrible newspaper, did a who will last longest, Liz Truss, our Prime Minister, or a lettuce? And of course, the lettuce won.
Oh, they're crapping on about Brexit again. Have you heard that? They're now crapping on about Brexit again. Oh, let's bring us back into the EU. I'm going, mate. Let's just
because they'll let us come in without any conditions.
Vote laissez.
Oh, of course they will. Yeah, bring back Boris. That's the latest one, isn't it? Bring back Boris.
What is it with lettuce this year? I think 2022 is year of the lettuce because in Australia we had the lettuce, the great lettuce shortage, right? And now you guys have got the lettuce thing.
The great lettuce shortage.
Did you guys not hear about that? So what happened is because there were floods at the start of the year and there's floods again now, but let's not talk about those. There were floods at the start of the year, and that actually just decimated a whole bunch of market garden crops. And the biggest one that it decimated, according to social media anyway, is the lettuce supply in the eastern states of Australia. It didn't affect us over here because we were affected by floods. And so basically all of your big hamburger chains and chicken, like KFC, those sort of places, right? They were substituting lettuce with cabbage because they couldn't get it. The price of lettuce went up like incredible. They were substituting it with cabbage. How horrible would that have been? Having a burger with
cabbage. Well, it could have been kale and you guys would have complained more. So.
Oh, yeah, kale, yeah. And now you guys have got the lettuce thing. That's funny.
I love kale, but some people hate it. So.
Okay, but you've got to cook it, Fred. You don't chew on it raw. It's like chewing on old boot leather if you do that.
You can actually.
Not that I've ever chewed on old boot leather. Yeah,
you can soften it.
If you chew on boot leather.
Yeah, you can soften it in water. I think with a bit of like a brine, you can soften it, and it'll stay relatively.
Depends
soft.
which variety. There's a lot of varieties. So
it's not the best. Trust me. You guys know Subway, right? So they even had that problem at Subway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so here are people buying these subs. They're sprinkling cabbage on the subs, and people were biting in them going, "Oh, this is not right." Yeah. So lettuce gate.
Some brand new ones out. Strawberry and cream.
Let's have a look. Oh, I've had those before.
Strawberry. Oh yeah. Oh, they're just gone. You're right. It's the first time we've seen them.
Oh really? They've got them over here. Yeah, they're nice. I think I like the other ones better.
We're rating that as well now.
We get that brand. We get that brand here. Like the company that makes it, we get most of the stuff. I forget the name of the brand.
Swizzles. Yeah, because you know who eats them. You see, Swizzles. You see?
Oh yeah. If we're doing our sweets, here we go then. There's me kind hearts. Which my dear wife.
Are they called kind hearts now?
Kind, yeah, because they used to be. What was it? Love hearts.
Love hearts.
Cornets.
Yeah.
Show that again, Ian. Show that again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So after you eat them,
I've eaten some of them.
Do you do not so kind farts after you eat them?
Oh no. Very fragrant, obviously. Yeah, Jane bought me them for our anniversary.
Have to open a window.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's the synth cooking show again.
Here we go.
Well, that's the point. While we're still rambling, because next week our clocks go back. So,
what are we going to do?
What are you doing? Are you keeping it at 2 p.m. UK time? Because that means you'll be later then, won't it?
Yeah. So I stream an hour later my time. Yeah. But it's up
to you, Ranz. I was just curious.
Yeah, well, I'll still do the early show like I always have, so that's fine. That's one of the reasons why I brought it an hour early, because when you guys do your daylight
gain
savings,
an hour, don't we?
you guys gain an hour.
Yeah,
We
because the
gain
clocks
an
will
hour,
go back, so it'll be actually
spring forward.
it'll be 3 o'clock
Spring
next
forward,
week,
fall back.
but it'll be 2 o'clock here.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
gain an
fall
hour.
back. Yeah, that's what I mean. So it means that you'll be then
Spring
on
forward,
your show
fall
start an
back.
hour later in
Got
Yeah.
to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't change time here at all, and there's
No, I just
about
didn't know that he was going to start.
50% of Australia has daylight savings, and the other 50% doesn't. It's kind of weird over here. It's really stupid. But anyway, does Scotland have daylight savings? Which of the UK got rid of daylight savings, or was it just a trial that they did? I thought one of them got rid of it.
None of them. No.
None of them.
We have a single
Wow.
state that doesn't do it.
No.
Arizona.
That might have been it. It might have been in the US. Yeah, you might be right. There you go.
They have a lot of
what's-
problems
what-
over there. So.
Well,
Were they worried about wallpaper fading or something? Were they?
Oh, they have other issues. They don't celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday. There's, it's crazy.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
they've
It's a
perhaps
Trump
not
state,
heard of him
So
in Arizona. Oh,
So what's the time
no,
there
it's a
now,
racist
Rans?
Trump state.
8:52 p.m.
Ah, right. So it'll be call it 9 o'clock then. So it'll be 10 o'clock when you start your show
Yeah.
for you, but it'll still be 2 o'clock here.
Yep. Okay, so why don't we? Okay, so today we have got a lot of news, and you guys who saw the email probably know the list was quite long. We are probably going to have to power through that, and that might be a detriment to some of the other segments that we do today. Some dogs going at each other outside. I don't know what's going on there. So once we hit the start of the show on the hour, which is in like 7 minutes time, we'll do a quick hello, try and make that short, and then we'll get power into the news as quickly as we can, because I feel like we kind of need to spend time on the news this week, because there's some really interesting products that have come out during the week, and I know the other shows have shown them, but we get a chance to have a chat about it, and that's why we're here. So I actually haven't had a chance to watch any of the synth shows this week. It's been crazy for me. So if there's anything that was brought up on those shows, do mention it, because I haven't. I was going to watch Pro Synth Network. I was going to stay up last night and watch it, but I ended up falling asleep. That didn't happen. Yeah. So sorry about that, Robbie.
Robbie did mention you.
Sorry, Robbie.
Did mention you. Said you should have come on, but yeah, 3 in the morning is.
I can't. See, the thing is, I can't really come on with my voice, because it will just the whole house will hear me talking, and it'll wake them up, and I don't want to.
And as you said, you're very loud, Rans.
Thanks for that, Darren. Thanks for reminding me.
It's all right, because we've already got better not say. There's a tune with you. I'm using your voice on a tune. It's not ready yet, though.
Okay. All right. Don't say that.
Last week I got some ideas. I won't say anything else this week anyway. So.
All right. Don't say anything.
That's
just
shush now.
Yeah. Just let us all bask in confusion. It's what you like to do, Darren. Make us all bask in confusion.
I bask myself in confusion. Never mind everyone else.
Good to see the chatties. If you are in chat, big hello to you. I know quite a few of you have joined since my last big hello. So hello to people like randomly, who can I pick randomly? James Dyson, nice to see you. Sensian, nice to see you. Asdi Farzi, nice to see you, mate. Also QRD&K, who else did we get? Native VS, morning all. So yeah, good to see some of you people join us a little bit later than the early show. That's right, you're allowed to. DJ Mechanicom. There you go. That's a cool nick. Anyway, so big hello to everyone who's joined the show. Do remember too that these gentlemen here, other than me, so apart from me, these other people here, right, they actually do this show purely out of the love of their heart, and it's always a good idea to give a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Just if you feel that way. If you can't, it's too hard for you.
It's not strictly true. He actually blackmails us.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but anyway, have I got footage or something?
He's got stuff on us that no one wants to know.
Yeah.
Rave sent me something.
Yeah, because at the end of the show, he usually says, when it's off screen, he usually says, "I believe I will see you next week." Then,
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens.
You won't see me next weekend. I'm doing a hardware jams meetup.
You need to probably disappear now, mate. You sound like you need some bed.
Yeah, actually,
he needs to lie down.
Not being funny, but I think I am going to duck out. Right? I'm sorry, but if I am actually well and recovered and not drowning in my own snot, then next Saturday I'm doing a hardware jams meetup here in Sheffield. Another one like we did in Leeds a month or so ago. We're doing one in Sheffield, so I won't be around next Saturday. So I'm sorry, I'm here, but I am gonna piss out. I'll stick around in the chat, but nobody wants to see me smearing snot everywhere and sneezing every second minute. So I will jump out and say,
I honestly
nice
think,
to see everybody.
Yeah, I honestly think it's for the better, mate. Honestly, have some rest and
give me some samples from a microscope.
Please do get better. We really want you to get better.
Thank you, mate.
I will. Anybody else can jump in if somebody else jump in. You have another person.
Yeah, okay.
I will retire. I'm sorry, but I don't think it's not a nice sight, is it? I'll say to everyone. See you at some point soon.
No worries. Okay.
What
we can do, cheers, Andy. What we'll do is we'll bring back the 4 squares, and I'll just swap Andy's with that one. There we go. Cool. Easy. But it's just the 4 of us. We'll do that. Beautiful. Okay, so but hope you get better, Brooksy. Really not nice to see you crook, and it's not nice to feel crook. And I know how you feel. So I just remember, like when I was a kid, I used to get crook quite a bit with hay fever during the spring, especially. And I used to live in a different city when I was a kid, and since I've lived where I live now, I don't get it I get it a little bit, but it's it's mild, so so I know how he feels. Like you're always snotty and sniffing, and
but this cold that's going around, it does seem to hang around for ages, I mean, I had it before Synthfest, and I've still got a little bit of it now, but it's not nice.
Yeah, my flu's gone, but I still have junk in my lungs.
I think everyone's less immune to it, aren't they? Because for the past 2 years we've been mashed up, and at this time of year we've not been out. So in 2 years, no one's had it.
That's a good point, and we don't really know what those vaccines did to us either. We really don't know.
Well, it's those little microchips they put in there, right? That's
for the 5G.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we get stuck into the formal hellos? Starting with you, Darren. Darren, how's your week been?
Hello, week's
Nice
been
to
good. You said I want it to be quick. Bit cold, but other than that, it's fine. And tomorrow is the last in the trio of the backwards singles, or whatever I want to call them. So it's the last one tomorrow. Backwards till the end.
Backwards and coming forwards.
There you go, Ranzee. That was quick.
Wow, it was fantastic.
You said be quick. You said don't hang around.
Yeah, love your work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's nice to have you. Don't worry. Well, please jump into other segments. Andy, nice to have you as well. Morning to you over in your part of the world.
Thank you. It's so quickly run down here. Last night had an amazing event at Stanford Karma again. They had open house. So you got to wander the entire building, see projects they're working on. They had proper posters you would have at any kind of convention where they're doing research to show things they're doing with EEG studies for musicians, to gadgets and prepared pianos and sound installations you would have like in an art museum that are interactive. And I went to this one guy's room and it had a pretty awesome modular setup. And we were talking about all this stuff. He had some pretty weird stuff in that rig, but he goes, "Oh, I got to go. I'm playing later." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot you guys have performances tonight." and he had this crazy setup with this modular and super collider and some external controllers, and his I'll have to find the link and post it in the comments after the show. His set was wicked.
Nice.
And I've never heard anything like it, and had this really just interesting sound. And then another guy came on later who had hand built controller gloves with magnetometer, accelerometer, GPS sensors in it, all kinds of stuff. He built them from scratch, and he did a whole orchestrated piece with this really wild video. And he basically did it all as part of his master's project or whatever. And I talked to him for a while, got some pictures of the rig and stuff, but very, very clever stuff. So I'm fortunate to have that nearby so I can pop over there and check that stuff out in person. And apparently John Chowning showed up to watch his performance because John Chowning likes this guy. So he was in the back of the room, and I didn't get to see him, but he was there hiding in the back somewhere. So that was kind of cool.
That sounds really
And
cool.
then one other quick thing. The other day, I'm getting ready to try and do some version of an EMOM out here in San Francisco. So the other day I slaved away and basically put together this duo as much as I could fit in 2 boxes. So I have the boom boxes,
Nice.
modular stuff set up for. So ready to go. I just got to practice the shit out of it because I'm so behind on modular right now. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I can embarrass myself in front of a bunch of people in an audience. So.
Oh, that's awesome. We can't wait to see that. That's for sure.
But what makes the show really good is there's a local guy called Dirty Bill who does these video synth visuals while you play. So he does custom stuff to each performance.
Oh, that's really cool.
And that's really making it professional. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
So,
I like the VJ stuff. It's awesome. That's really cool. Nice. So any new gear from you?
let's see. I got the Emu Ultra sampler the other day with the special flash ROM card, so I can custom program it, put it in my command stations or whatever with my own samples. So that's cool because those are super rare. I mean, the cards are outrageously rare. There's a group online. I think it's a Gear Space for a while. Has been trying to. It started on Yahoo Groups. They shut it down, and then they have the guys making some copy flash ROMs, but I don't know if they ever finished it or not. It was a new project. So you had that. I picked up a Sensonics Mattel drum thing the other day for pretty cheap. That I never had one of those, so it's kind of fun to make the little silly drum sounds with that. I think I got one other module, but I can't remember what the hell it is, so I have to look at that. Yeah, that's mostly all I can think of for now.
Fantastic.
Oh, I do have the ears, mutable ears. I got one of those a long time ago.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun.
They are so much fun.
So.
What's interesting about them is the contact. You don't really realize what the contact mic does. Like you've talked about contact mics with some of the other gear that you've got, Andy. And
Korg contact mics, yeah, they're really
yeah,
good. Yeah,
and they're so musical in a way. Like no one would have known when they first invented those things how musical they are. So I mean, even before
the Air Instruments guy who makes weird modules, he makes a piezo one with a spring on it.
Yeah,
and you can pluck the spring, and you can like scrape the spring.
Yep,
and that one's pretty fun too.
Yeah, there's that box that you can get that's got all the little springs, kind of haphazardly.
Oh, the garden, something garden.
Yeah,
yeah. I wanted one of them.
I want one of those. They're cool.
Yeah, there's two of them. There's
Yeah,
I can't remember what garden it is, but it's a garden.
Speaking
of lettuce garden.
Speaking of gardens, Ian. No,
hi guys.
Not really. How are you, mate? Nice to have you.
I'm good. I'm good. I've spent most of the week programming MIDI drums for this new band that I'm joining. But I did buy something new. Well, something secondhand, if I can grab it. Oops, it's all falling about. Let's just unplug it. I bought one of these.
SR16, is it?
Well, hey,
16. Yeah. I mean,
these are good.
It'll be perfect for this new wave band. So that and some pre-programmed drum tracks is the way I'm going. I haven't even started learning the actual songs I've got to play, but that's, first rehearsals tomorrow afternoon. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if I pass the audition.
They're really good, though. So I don't know how much you had to play with it, but there's so many recognizable drum sounds in that. It's not funny.
Well, I used to own one back in the 90s, and it was stolen. So I'm pretty familiar with it. And it's just great, really. Yeah,
I've still got mine.
So,
it's nice here.
I would have never sold mine if it hadn't been that somebody half-inched it.
Yeah, that always sucks.
Apart from that, no.
Are they still for sale brand new? Still, can't you still buy them brand new?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's about 150 quid new. That was 60 quid all in on eBay.
That's not bad.
It's still going. That's another instrument that's been going for a long time.
Yeah. There's a few.
And
Yep.
There's a couple of versions as well. This is the later version, which has got a headphone socket because the original one didn't.
Just hold it up a bit higher.
But it's got a headphone socket. They changed the auxiliary left and right as well because it was 2 sockets on the original. So I don't know when they changed it, but
they got a bit bigger, didn't they?
I think.
Or did they get smaller?
No, there's an SR80.
Mine was the old one.
I just remember
16.
them being a bit smaller.
Oh, that's 16. That's a 16. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
That's
16.
a 16 too.
Yeah.
So yours
mine's
not
not got
got
That's the SR, not the HR, right? Or is that which one is that?
Yeah.
The HR was the old one, isn't it?
HR is the older one, right?
Yeah.
The HR.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
No, it's great. I mean,
it looks the same.
I mean, the nice thing is you can easily, I can just, songs that I don't program with MIDI, we'll just play. I'll put some patterns together and play them.
Before we get stuck into the show,
1990.
Asdi Fazis has asked a couple of questions, and I thought, well, I mean, other than you've got your caps lock stuck on, mate. Sonic We're Living, I've got one here. Any good FM sounds? Any idea? Absolutely, it's brilliant for FM. I've got one here. I'm not going to bring it out because it's over on the other side of the studio. So you do check out the Sonic We're Living. It's a pretty cool thing. It's a bit different for FM. Like, kind of. I'm not even want to say this because it's kind of. I know it's going to lead us down a garden path of conversation, but it's not the same as the Electron Digitone, which is an FM thing. So it's kind of, but it's down that sort of track. It's like a groove box FM thing. It's probably closer to the Yamaha DX modern, completely different again. But FM up its gazooba. So, and one of the cool things about it too. One of the cool things about it is that you actually do have quite a lot of editing control over FM on it, which a lot of those other things that I mentioned don't. See if this lets me. Oops. You guys still stir me, can't you?
Yeah. Can I?
Yeah. I've just refreshed the YouTube page. It seems to come back up.
Okay, just give me a sec. It says it's streaming, but just give it a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going now.
It's a bit behind, but we're...
All right. Okay, so it looks like we are still streaming. Okay, good. I've just switched it across to the other thing. So let's see how we go. Let us know if it causes any more dramas. That was the Blackmagic ATEM. That wasn't the YouTube, the internet connection. That was the Blackmagic ATEM that was causing that. So I've just disconnected it. And I've just hit the stream straight from the streaming software instead. So it's literally streaming out from my PC now. Anyway, we need to get on with the show. Hopefully it's all working good again. And if it's not, we've got another internet connection we can back it up to in a sec if we need to. I can see myself streaming right now, so I don't think there's a problem at the moment. But I will keep an eye on that little error message. Okay, guys, we are going to get stuck into the main show. Here we go. I think we are probably about 10 seconds behind. But yeah, this is quite relevant. This is quite relevant. You'll find out in a minute why this is relevant. So, yes, that is definitely relevant for today, but you'll find out very, very soon why. Next. Live has detected that your computer is not in a small apartment in Berlin, where you have moved to further your music career and will now shut down. So in other words, it just basically doesn't want you to get any better. So there you go. Next.
Is that why mine keeps shutting down then?
Well, this might be a solution for you, Darren. Your DAW has crashed. Who's crashed now? Okay.
Yeah, God.
Next one.
No guy did that once. Threw it out his window.
Yeah. Florian did this one, so big shout out to him. Needs firmware. This is the Digitone. We were talking about this before. Wow, what a coincidence. Needs firmware updates to get basic functionality. 4 operators, freaking expensive. 8 voices of polyphony. Limited pattern length. 8 algorithms. Compared to the early 2000s Yamaha DX200, the free envelope generator was the parameter lock of 2001. It had song mode from day one. It's still cheaper than the Digitone in spite of being highly sought after piece of vintage gear. 6 operators, loads of DX7 patches, 16 voices of polyphony, 32 algorithms. Go Yamaha. Hey, flex those muscles. Anyway, you guys get the idea. They are actually really, really cool, the DX200s, by the way. If you can get yourself one of those, definitely do it. I'm getting errors again. Oh, no. And I'm streaming from the computer too. Okay, let's see if we can keep going. I do have another internet connection. I'm so glad I could come and be with you at home today. Do you have any song requests? Maybe an oldie but a goodie. Tino Firestarter. Imagine if you went to an old person's home and you get some old lady come up to you and go, "Do you know Firestarter?"
Superb.
I would literally lose it.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. I don't know if you'd be able to do Firestarter on that. Yeah. What is that? It's definitely one of those all-in-one. Is that a Yamaha? I think it is.
So Yamaha or a Casio, isn't it?
It's a PSR something or other.
Yeah.
And this one I thought we'll just throw this in. It's not synth related, but I just thought we'd throw it in because Halloween is coming. Trick or treat. Trick and treat. Trick X or treat. For all those who love mathematics and engineering, they'll get this one. Okay. I thought maybe I like that one better than anyone else. All right, cool. All right, happy Halloween for next week, I think it is, isn't it? What's the date?
Yeah.
Actually,
next week.
It might actually be next weekend. We actually might be doing a Halloween show. There you go. Favorite meme.
To dress up.
It's Monday.
Favorite meme, guys.
Right.
Monday.
Bias me.
It's got to be one of the Ableton ones for me, or the waste.
Yeah.
Throwing everything out the window.
I didn't catch what you said, Ian, because you kind of clicked.
I said 5 for me.
Firestarter.
Yeah.
Okay. And Andy?
Yeah, the window one's good. I like the window one.
Right.
Everyone feels that way, right? Throw shit out the window when you get mad. So
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. And in the chat, this is what they said. Firestarter. Oh, we had a few that like the trick or treat. Yeah, see, I'm not on my own. I'm not on my own. But I'm probably sorry to say, guys, who were backing me up there, that wasn't my favourite meme this week. My favourite meme was Firestarter because I just thought that was hilarious. Because I just pictured myself going to an old person's home and someone just asking me to play that, and I just would have lost it. But yes, anyway, great memes this week. Better than last week.
Firestarter.
Exactly. Why don't we get stuck into the news? And yes, that is the first cab off the rank, and we have been probably watching videos all week long, haven't we, gentlemen and ladies and everyone else, right? Haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We have.
Who's been impressed?
Oh,
I have been.
I'd like to play it. I would like to play it.
Yeah. Have we seen this video? Should we show this video or not? Let's have a look. Have we seen this video? I think most of us have seen this video, right? Just to refresh our memories. The exploding frog. What is with the cheesy kaleidoscope video? Anyway, you guys are copying me. Arturia MiniFreak. Now, I don't know, other than the people that already had NDAs and knew that this thing was coming out, so other than you guys, who had any idea that they were going to make a bigger version of the MicroFreak? Anyone? Put your hand up if you knew.
I thought they were going to make a PolyFreak.
Right? So you had a thought. Okay. Cool.
Well, that's next.
Yeah. So who thought Arturia were going to make a groove box? I thought I had.
I was sort of on that.
Yeah, I was thinking groove box.
Yeah. So maybe if Arturia are watching, maybe that should be your next product release. But Andy, you said PolyFreak, and I kind of thought the same thing. Well, that's not Andy. That's Andy. I kind of thought the same thing when I saw this. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about why you thought it was going to be a PolyFreak, and then when you saw it was a MiniFreak, was there any disappointment or what?
I mean, look what they did with the brutes. So, in fact, they had several brutes before they got to the bigger ones. So they took even longer to get to a big unit and a big poly unit. But yeah, no, I'm not disappointed at all. I mean, I love the MicroFreak. I need to use it more because, just another thing that I don't have time to use properly. But
we are buffering.
I have no issues with it. I love the Buchla style key bed.
Yeah.
It's very expressive. It is weird if you haven't used one out there. It is weird if you don't plug it in to a certain kind of power source. It doesn't ground 100%, and so the touch is less responsive. But it does still work on a battery pack. I've heard that.
All right,
which is cool.
Andy, just pause for a sec, mate. We are probably not even getting video out right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to disable this network connection, which will probably kick all three of you off. So guys, reconnect. Okay, it's not going to lose the stream.
Okay.
But it definitely is not a good internet connection. So just give me a sec while I do that. So I'm just going to stop streaming, and that won't kick you guys off. This is really cool news, actually, for me. It really is.
Even that's bothering.
Okay. All right. I've literally changed network connections, and we're back on. So back to you, Andy. Whoop, wrong. That's not Andy. I always hit that button for Andy. I don't know.
Oh, it's the replay.
It's the replay. It's the replay.
So I'll just do it all again real quick.
Yeah, just do it again.
They had the track record of the brutes, the mini brute, micro brute, et cetera, and so eventually got a poly brute out of it, but it took a while, and that seems to be a trend that they started to do. So it's most likely they're going to have a poly freak.
I think so.
This new one is cool. I mean, if I didn't already have a MicroFreak, I would get one, but I don't use my MicroFreak enough already, even though I like it a lot. Just don't have time for everything. So if I didn't have the MicroFreak, I would definitely get this MiniFreak. So it's good stuff. And of course, as you know, they added the audio in but there's no vocoder yet. But just like they did with the MicroFreak, they'll add it later in software.
Yeah, they've definitely got the software platform for. There's the input there. You can see it. Yeah, interesting design. Hey guys. Yeah, Ian, I wanted to grab your thoughts on this because I kind of thought of you a little bit with this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I am a fan. I've never owned any of the Arturia hardware, but I'm a fan of the software. I've got 2 or 3 of their plugins. If I was in the market for a 500 quid synth, I'd be looking at this, but I would also be looking at the Hydrasynth Explorer. And they're pretty much the same sort of price, and maybe that's an unfair comparison. I don't know, really. I mean, I haven't Hydrasynth, so
Yeah.
and I'm not in the market for a £500 synth. I mean, I like the look of it. I like the little screen because I watched Nick Batt's quick review of it, and I'm not so sure about those capacitive sort of tone control sliders. Whether those would annoy me, I don't know. But there's much to like about it, But like I say, I'm not in the market for. Should it be 500 quid? Don't know really.
Yeah,
nice if it was a bit cheaper, but that would say that about everything.
I noticed that interesting how a lot of people did bring up the comparison to the Hydrasynth, and I kind
That's
of
exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
All right, well, why don't you?
Oh, sorry again, Darren. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, why don't you say it?
No,
Seriously.
I was just going to say. Say Ian just said actually. I said it's right in the ballpark of the Hydrasynth, and it's. I mean, I've not owned the MicroFreak, so I can't really sort of like say. I mean, I know it's very. Well, it was originally based on Platts, wasn't it? Originally, the MicroFreak, some of the
the Emily's
back end of it
engine.
Sort of. Yep. Yeah. But I mean, it does look. I would probably get the MiniFreak rather than the MicroFreak. But like Ian says, it's now in the ballpark of the Explorer Hydrasynth, and then I don't know. It's quite a close one now because you're sort of looking more towards the Hydrasynth. That would be, but like I say, it is a nice keyboard. But like Ian says, if it was a bit lower, I know prices on everything are just going ridiculous now anyway because of costs and everything. But when you're putting it up against something like the Hydrasynth Explorer. And I don't know. I'm just a bit like that on it. I'm 50-50 of which way you'd swing, I think.
So
it's a good looking thing. But
the thing with me is I kind of feel like they have probably vast differences. And I think there'd be, if you like that kind of sound, they would definitely have crossover, but I think there'd be room for both. If you were in, because that price is not a huge price for a synth when you think about like what it can give you in that sort of price range. It's a pretty decent price. And I think Robbie in the chat, he mentioned it's a pretty big, dense price range with Argon stuff and Korg and But for me, I kind of liked. For me, the Hydrasynth Explorer, I like the idea of the aftertouch keyboard, and it's like a micro key. With the MicroFreak, it's not poly aftertouch; it's just a sort of channel aftertouch. But then there's a whole bunch of Arturia stuff that you're kind of getting some of the development from the key step and the beat step in here, and you're kind of getting the mini brute development with the matrix, and you're kind of getting. Do you know what I mean? Like this, they're piling on all the cool things that they did with their other synths.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's very cool. I think what's happened is they've banged it straight in the price range where there's a lot of synths to choose from, so it doesn't stand out quite as a no-brainer.
Yeah. If I was in the market, I would be wanting to go and play these synths, spending time with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of them. I mean, I know what the Hydrasynth's like because I've got the big one, but I would really be wanting to actually spend some time with it.
Yeah. Thanks, Wagoo, for the exploding
maybe not only that. Sorry.
Also, to be fair, I have the Keystep Pro
Wagoo
Black model that was $550, and it has no synth on it. So this is a good deal, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't do everything a Keystep Pro does, of course, but
but it has a lot of stuff.
It's got a lot of stuff in it. Like we keep watching that little animation, and you can see all the
Culture
stuff
of Ghosts,
that's
the
going
chat room is. Sorry, Culture of Ghosts is saying that the wave state had too many menu divings, and I mean, I completely agree with that. A lot of the Korg stuff has too many menus.
on. Yeah,
You know, and that's
I
been
like,
a bane
I
of
like
my
the
life.
I like the mod wave better out of that range because see, for me, the wave state, it needed to have analog filters in it, and they never put it on there, and it kind of pissed me off. It was a bit like when Roland did their boutiques, and they didn't really do them properly either. So, but yeah, the mod wave was probably
think
my
about how
favorite.
waves. Think how in menu diving the wave station was. So the wave state kind of has to be.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. The DW8000
there's
was a bit like that too.
It was. I mean, I've got a cross here, and that is so menu. I mean, I hate every time I forget how to do stuff because there's so many menus to go through. You know, and it's the same on a Kronos. No matter what Korg, the bigger Korg machines, you know, certainly their workstation machines.
Yeah,
it's just loads and loads of menu diving.
See, I don't think you'd say that about the MiniFreak. I don't think you'd say that's menu diving. I
think you're right.
Because I think one of the things that we didn't really sort of talk about was some of the features on this. And I'll go to the web page because it does kind of show, you know, all the different sort of sound engines. You know, the two engines. So one of those is based on, you know, the Platts engine, and the other one's based on their own, I guess, algorithms that they've developed, probably through their VST stuff. Where is it going to show it? Is it going to show it here? Probably doesn't show it here. Probably just shows it in the videos. But this is probably a better diagram. So where you've got those the four sections across over on the right here, right? You've got the analog filter, digital effects, cycling envelopes, and envelopes. When you press the mode button or the type button or anything like that on there, the menu in the screen changes. So it's less menu diving, it's more direct. I mean, you can get to it through a menu in the screen if you want to go that way.
Yeah.
But it's more direct. And I think Korg and some of those menu diving type synth makers could learn from this sort of thing. See, one of the things Arturia have got is they've got really good software development behind them. That's one of the things they've got. I'm not saying Korg don't, because they do as well. But that, you know, that's a thing they can learn from it. You know, I've always thought Arturia have been really good with their software development. I mean, there's probably some examples where they're not, of course, but someone will probably argue with me. But I think the MicroFreak is really good value for money.
Well, for example, compare the JDXI, which a JDXI is a master menu with categories, but it's not context sensitive at all.
No.
Whereas if you had a couple extra buttons and it would jump, like you said, to a context sensitive menu, that would make so much sense. But these guys are too lazy to do that. So.
Yeah. See, that you need the editor, and you know, then you have to have a laptop hanging next to it. The only way to sort of benefit out of some of those synths, you've got to have editors. Even with Korg, you've got to have editors with the wave state. The editor is brilliant, by the way, with the wave state. So, you know, those things are cool.
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, actually, I was looking for an editor for the Cross recently to do some programming. And I think there's one for Windows, but there still isn't one for Mac. I mean, you know, the Cross has been out for years now. Cross 2, by the way, not the Cross 1. You know.
Yeah, I haven't seen the editor for it, actually.
No, I couldn't find one. You know, but hey-ho.
But then again, Korg make good editors. Like I remember years ago when I got my M3, the editor for the M3 is also good as well. So yeah. Right.
Ian, for stuff like that, you should set up a VM on your Mac so you could run Windows stuff once in a while.
Ooh,
I've thought about that. I may well, Andy, actually. You know,
run it in the cloud.
I have got.
It's not too hard these days, and it's really useful.
Yeah. Okay, so who in the chat, you guys here, who in the chat has already ordered a MicroFreak and are excited about it, and that's it, you know, take my money, you've thrown a fistful of $100 bills at your screen and you press buy. Who's there? Who's bought one? Or who's getting one? Because I'd be interested to know. Absolutely. Okay, going back to news, we have this button here, and we also have this button. What about this, gentlemen and ladies? This one kind of snuck in under the radar, didn't it? Who is into the Akai controllers? I actually like the Akai controllers. I've got an MPK.
I have some.
I've got an MPK. I think they actually make pretty good controllers. So why don't we have a little Captain Cook at this? Yeah, well, you know what market they're trying to get with that, don't you? So, are they going to get there? I don't know. It's a different beast, this one, isn't it? Let's have another look at it. It's a different beast. It's got proper mod wheel and pitch wheel on it. Don't know if it's in the right spot, but it's up there. It's close enough.
Yeah.
199 euros or US dollars ish for it. The MIDI and CV gate control on it, I think, is interesting. So when I say it's got CV gate control, off, you guys saw it in the video, but it has pitch gate mod for CV, and it has the clock in and out, which would be like the Volca stuff. So they showed the Volcas, they showed the Moog. What do they call that thing again? Andy, the Moog Smith. It used to be a workstat, now it's called something else. Anyway, that thing.
Not the Mavis.
Mavis, yeah, that's it.
The Mavis, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So, and it's got a little joystick control too. MPC pads and joysticks. So the joystick is a kind of nice little addition, and that can be all assigned with. What did they say? What did I read about the joystick? So the joystick is 4 parameters, X, Y axis, can be sent to DAW through like a menu editing thing. Anyway, anyone interested in the MPK Mini Plus? Sequencer on it's not bad either.
I have the original tiny one.
Hold it up. And that button. There, you got it right. Oh yeah, it's just missing the little modern pitch wheel on the side, really, isn't it? And the screen.
Well, this is actually pretty clever, even though it's fiddly. It's kind of cool, and it's low profile, so you can put it in a bag and not break everything. The one problem with this is it's perfectly shaped and styled to work with an iPad. However, it draws too much power. The iPad won't power it.
And it doesn't have the power through thing like some devices do, does it?
Yeah, so you'd have to use some kind of a funky thing because there's only one single USB-B jack on it. So you'd have to rig up something to MIDI it with USB and add power to it.
Yeah, so the camera connection kit.
Y cables.
Yeah, the camera connection kit would probably get you out of trouble with that.
But it's if it draws power from the iPad, it goes, oh, I can't use it. Sorry.
If you've got the camera connection kit and you've got that connected. Because don't forget those camera connection kit. I've got one just down on the floor here. I should grab it. It's got there's 2 USB. Yeah, it's got the pass through. Yeah, you got one there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that would probably get you out of trouble with that.
But like the key step has no problem. It looks fancier, but it actually powers up the iPad no problem.
Yeah.
So
Well, look, I wouldn't be surprised, Andy, if this thing drew more power because this has got a screen now. It's got a few more features, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So a good little tip there.
I got that, which is obviously the Novation.
Oh yeah,
this is the original Novation launch key. It works great with an iPad. I mean, it's in fact, I took that to Hong Kong with me, stuck it in my backpack, and I like the fact, as Andy says, the size of this and the size of the mini one is perfect with an iPad. I could do a gig with that and an iPad. Really, So, and that was the new one's 88 quid. I know it's not got as much functionality as the Akai, but I suppose it depends what you want, really.
The new Novation one I thought had more stuff on it too. I thought there
Yeah,
was.
it has got more stuff on it.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's still cheaper.
It's got pitch wheels
and type thing.
Sequencer stuff.
Yeah,
they took some circuit stuff into.
Yeah, and it's still dirt cheap.
Yeah,
awesome. It's not $200; it's £88.
Yeah. What do the guys in chat think about it? Keep talking, Ian.
I was just going to say that for me, it's got to go in a backpack, that sort of thing. And I'm not so sure that the Akai one it's maybe too long.
Yeah.
I'm also. I mean, I'm okay with the mini keys, but the more keyboards you end up with mini keys, the less I tend to like them. Really,
the more frustrated you are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you guys think that? I mean, Arturia probably have cornered that market pretty well. I mean, other than the fact that it doesn't have those pads on it and a few other little sort of things. Yeah. I mean, Arturia have pretty, like the key steps they've probably got the market share. I'm probably just thinking from my own uneducated point of view, but I kind of feel...
When you come to controller keyboards, there's only so much you can really do that's different and unique, really, other than literally tying it into a complete piece of software, or even a DAW type of thing. So I suppose they all start to blend and look very similar and be very similar. But like you say, if you want to, that's definitely not going to be powered by your iPad.
Yeah, it's not, is it?
Well, it may do.
My favorite is the Launchpad Mini Mark III. Have you guys tried that one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the new one, isn't it?
It has a killer arpeggiator on it. It has really nice pads. It has scales. It has like a randomization, other kinds of weird features on there. It's really good.
There's a good little graphic there for you guys who are interested in that. I know we've been varied in opinions, but I will say the MPK line that Akai produce are actually really good. Other than maybe the power issue, they are actually really, really good. So, Andy, in terms of other than the power issue with your iPad, the build quality on the old ones wasn't actually that bad, was it? It was pretty good.
I even bought the one that's the Play that has a built-in sound brain just for quick and dirty stuff. You just turn it on and start playing.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with them, and they have a built-in arpeggiator, and pretty cool.
Yeah, and now it's got CV. Look, I think there's going to be people that will get it because it might have, the features that it's got on it might just be in a little corner where the key step doesn't, or the Novation doesn't, or whatever else is out there doesn't. Yeah. This one does, so it might just be the way to go. All right, let's go back and let's keep going forward. What about some software? Yes.
Hey.
I have a feeling we talked about this the other day. We were talking about pedals. I'm pretty sure we were talking about pedals, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if Strymon did a VST version of their pedal, and lo and behold, they were probably putting this thing in development. There it is there. The BigSky VST. Yeah. Let's have a little watch. I'm not going to watch 12 minutes of video, but let's see what they've got at the start of this new one.
Yes.
Get ready for some guitar.
Oh, you've always got a guitar.
Walk into any major recording studio these days and look at their complement of hardware reverbs, and you will probably find a cache of gear that has not changed much in a very long time. So the Lexicon 480L is still the big daddy, came out in 1986. It's at work every day in studios across the world mixing records still. The EMT 140 and 250 plates, the TC System 6000, all the way up to the modern Bricasti units, these are seriously creative and seriously unique direct port of our best-selling hardware. Featuring 12 meticulously hand-tuned algorithms that run the gambit from traditional recording spaces like rooms and halls and plates, all the way to seriously unique and creative options that incorporate things like pitch shifting, filtering, formant control, vowel sounds, room resonance, multi-head tape delay, you name it. It has so many world-class creative personalities that it can transform your tracks in ways that would be next to impossible to do without it.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit into there because there's a couple of examples that these guys showed in the video which I thought were interesting. I think it's around here somewhere.
Ooh, listen to that tail ring out.
What you'd expect. Here we go.
He's hilarious.
How much I love your face on that fateful day we met.
Anyway, you guys get the idea. I mean, we've all heard the BigSky algorithm. We've probably heard it on just about every synth channel that's got a BigSky. I've got one. It's sitting there, right? Actually, if I go, which way do I have to go? That way. There it is. Boom. That's a BigSky right there.
Hey.
Yeah. So, look, for me, I might get it if it comes down to price a bit. What are they looking at? 199 euros. I think it's a little on the pricey side. Yeah.
I completely agree. And I've got a couple of issues with it. I'm a fan of Strymon. I don't own any Strymon, and I would love to own. I always wanted the BigSky. I think if you buy the hardware pedal, you should this free.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I also think that I know that it will probably do more than this, but if you go to Valhalla and get the Supermassive, the Space Module, and the Fran Echo for free, and buy for $50 the Shimmer, you're heading in the right direction. You know, in terms of plugins, I just think I think it's there's other things out there in plugin land that will do an awful lot of what this does, and it's way overpriced.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll struggle with the price, but there'll be studios that will pick this up because it literally will take that box away. Now, I actually do want to talk about this, and it's a really good point to make right now. There will be people that will say, no, I don't want to take the box away and I don't want to put it into a computer because the DA stuff, the digital audio conversion in the back of the Strymon pedal is going to sound different to what your DAW will produce. So you will get slightly different audio kind of results out of the box versus in the box out of the DAW. So there might be that argument there. For me, I don't really think I'm ever going to notice that sort of stuff. I'm not really one of those sort of people that gets really nerdy about the quality of a DAC in that sort of land. No. I would probably be more likely to pipe it through an ADAT connection through my Eurorack and then back into Ableton and back out again. And so for me, there's some benefit of having it in a DAW. I have shown you guys on the show, a year ago or so, me putting those effects pedals through my Eurorack and through a DAW and then back out again using my digital setup here. They're amazing. It does the job. But when it's in a DAW, you can do other things like automation that you can't do on the pedal. And the automation side of it is what gets me excited because all of those controls that you saw on the graphic, they're going to be automatable in your DAW. All those things, and you can't do that on a pedal, can you, gents?
No, that's true.
I'm with Ian.
Some have MIDI control. You have some things you can do.
Some things you've got MIDI control. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm a bit because I've got a BigSky behind me, so and I do like it. I use it quite a bit. But as Ian says, you've also got Supermassive, which is free, and I think it's like you say, it's a little bit overpriced. I mean, they're probably pricing that way because of the work they've been putting into it, but I think it was $99 maybe, something like that. Then it might be much more appealing. But to spend $200, considering that's half the price of your outboard BigSky, and there's a lot of nice pedals that are only about 250 quid. So to pay 200, I mean, I get the point of having it in your DAW, which I do a lot of stuff in DAW. But if it was $99, I think it'd be a lot better. It'd be more on your shopping list.
Yeah,
I would say.
It definitely needs to drop in price. Yeah. Like you said, Darren, if maybe for current owners of the pedal, maybe they gave us a 50% discount.
Yeah.
Anything to sort of
anyone buying loyalty. It, you think
I mean, free would be better.
You've bought the outboard. You think you get it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you bought it, I can't see why they couldn't do that because they're going to make the money on the pedal, and then you're going to get when you take it into the AW. So
yeah,
but then you'd have to find somewhere because I've already bought my pedal.
We do have that November sort of Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff coming up. So I'm not promising anything, but no, a lot of the VST type effects things do go on special during those particular times, so discounted or whatever. So Andy, I don't know, they're an American company. I'm not sure if they're going to do that or not. One other thing I probably should mention is that you can't buy it unless you're a US resident directly from Strymon. You have to get it through a reseller. Or you can have
You have to buy it through Gear for Music in the UK.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of dodgy VPN set up and a fake US address. You heard it here. Dodgy VPNs for sale. No.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too is Christmas time there might be some sales on there. So I don't know if they'll put it on sale that soon. It's not that far away. It's only about a month or two away. So I'm not sure. But anyway, speaking of software VSTs, what about this? Hey, who saw this coming? Moogerfoogers are now VSTs. Who saw this coming? Not me, said the flea. Yeah, wow. I really kind of find this interesting. Anyway, Frog Meets Fly from Moog. Let's have a little look at the video.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of Essex. We'll pause it there. Geez, I wish my synth spat out cartoon like emphasis little things when I hit it like that. Anyway, Moogerfoogers in your computer, guys. I guess it was an editor, wasn't it? They've got Model Ds as VST. So Moogerfoogers in your computers. There's 7 of them that you can get with their package that they're selling. It's actually not bad. We're still talking similar money to the Strymon, but you're getting 7. Just remember, you're not just getting a reverb engine. You're getting 7 Moogerfoogers for $149. They're going to go back up to $249, I think, when that offer ends. I'm not sure when that offer ends. But they run as VST3s, AUs, AAX, and in Mac, and they require iLok, which is probably a little bit of a negative for some people.
That's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. But these, if you're wondering what the 7 are, just quickly I'll list them to you so you guys know. You get the low-pass filter. Now, the low-pass filter is actually a cool one to have because if they've hit that algorithm correctly, that means that you guys have got a proper Moog ladder filter sitting in your DAW that you can access, which is a cool thing. The 102S, which is the ring mod, which is the pedal that I've been using. I just used it last week with you guys. You got the 12-stage phaser, which is my white pedal there. I'd be interested to see how that thing sounds. You can, by the way, download a demo of this. The 104S is the analog delay. That thing is selling for like 5,000 US, like in some crazy places right now because of that Bucket Brigade delay chip that's on it. So that would be interesting to see how they've done that. You've got the Murph, which is a really, really interesting resonant type filter thing. And the last thing is the Cluster Flux, which is kind of like a flanger FM modulation kind of cool thing. So that's a lot of Moogerfoogers for your buck, really, when you think about it. And if you look at that graphic there, they are like as if you had the real ones. So, Darren,
this is where it differs. This is where it differs from the Strymon because the price of the Moogerfoogers is just like ridiculous, and trying to get hold of anything like that.
Yeah.
So, on the other hand, this is, I suppose you could say, a better deal because
they're so
people like
out
me
of
are not
reach.
going to be able to go out and get a Moogerfooger. Yeah, so that's where it comes in better. But as in sort of gringed and crunged like I did, iLok. I know people like it, and It just turns me off.
Yeah, me too.
But these are all controllable. So what should I do there? Sorry, Darren. These are all controllable. Like the same thing with the Strymon BigSky. You can actually control these with automation in your DAW. So all of these knobs can be controlled with automation. But if we're going to watch my CV recording show next week, you'll actually also be able to send CV from any synth that has CV output on it to actually control these things digitally inside your DAW. So just think about all the kind of various things you can do with this for the fact that it's actually going to be sitting as software. Probably the only thing, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, I doubt very much they're going to nail some of those analog sounds perfectly. I could be wrong. Roland did a pretty good job. I don't know what Moog have done in the development. Anyone have any sort of insight to that?
And if you use
No
Animoog
insight.
or
I
you
mean,
use Model 15,
I use
do you use
Moog.
it?
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you use
And they're
those
great.
other
They're
apps
really
they
good.
made, they're incredible. Yeah, so it's I don't think they have trouble nailing it. The quick thing about the iLok, I know a lot of people hate iLok, but as a
I've got
mobile
one.
person who uses different computers all the time, it's the only way to do it. You just carry the dongle, plug it into any computer, and just get going. You don't have to worry about, oh, did I install it here? Oh, I have it licensed on this computer. iLok is super handy for someone like me, and I never had a problem with it.
Yeah. Ian, what was your point you were going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the iLok might be a deal breaker for me. I would actually like to have. I mean, I've never owned any of them. The Moogerfoogers, anyway, whatever whichever way you want to describe them.
Doogie Fogies.
7 sound. It's I don't know if I need them. To be fair, what I would have also liked to seen, once you buy them, that you could have a version of it on your iPad, just like I can with the Model 15 and all the other Moog synths that I own. So they've missed a point there, I think, to some extent. But you're right, you can't get the real things for a sensible price. So if you want one, go and buy them. Kent in the chat room just said he's bought them. So
they probably don't need the Freak box because it's basically just an oscillator. It's basically just a VCO, which is that one on the left. I've got 2 others that are sitting in another part of the room. I've got the LFO and I've got another one. Okay, so the question I have for whoever's in the know with this, in the chat, whoever's in the chat might be in the know or whatever, is how are they going to get... So Roland made a big thing about ACB, right, when they were digitizing some of their famous analog synths. I mean, the Moogerfoogers are analog pedals, apart from some of the things like MIDI Murph and that, there's some digital stuff in those. But like the 104 is a purely analog pedal. Like it's got bucket brigade delay. How are they going to, get some of that antiquity of that BBD chip in a digital realm? That's the question I've got. I don't know how good it's going to be, but hey, I don't know if I want to spend $149 just to sort of go, hey guys,
just to find
this is
out,
what this one sounds like, and here's a real one next to it. It's not really for me. I don't like sort of wasting money on stuff like that. But yeah, but then again,
to be fair, you could say,
there you go.
Yeah, you could say that about anything, though, couldn't you? Anything that's a recreation of an original piece of equipment, a hardware piece of equipment into software. It's the same regardless, And clearly, some manufacturers do it better than others. I suspect Moog. I mean, I've only once played a Model D. I did a whole album with a software Model D, not the Moog one. It was the Arturia one. First. And I've got the Moog Model D now, and it's great, But I've never compared it to the real McCoy. There probably are some differences, but you take your choice, really. Yeah.
The differences are just
I'd rather. I was just going to say I'd rather spend 150 quid on those, even if it was with the iLok, than to spend it on the Strymon. I think I'm getting better for my money.
Yeah, that's what I thought. with the 7 being in that pack. I think there's some cool things that you're going to get out of it. I mean, my point about comparing it to an original Moogerfooger is more just nerdy. But for those who haven't got Moogerfoogers, like I can't remember which one of you guys said that, if you can't get the money together to get one, you're not going to spend $5,000 or $4,000 on a 104. There's 140 divided by 7. What's that? $20. $20 US for a 104S. Pretty good. If it does a reasonably close sound to what an original sounds like. Yeah, pretty cool.
I actually had a chance many years ago through my friend at Guitar Center to get like most of the Moogerfoogers for like $450 each. I'm so stupid not to do that.
Well, that's when Andy. That's when I got mine. So I did the same thing because someone gave me a sniff that they were discontinuing. This is before they announced that they were discontinuing them, and so I picked up a few from various stores around the world. Some secondhand, some brand new. The white phaser.
Yeah, because I would get his price, the employee price on it, which would have been really good. So.
I mean, they weren't that much dearer than. More expensive than $450 US. They were probably like some of them were a bit more than that, but the average Moogerfooger was only about $550 US retail when they were actually selling. That's only a few years ago. So, and now look at the price of those things. It's insane. It's almost like a commodity market, these things. Yeah. Anyway, I think the VSTs will make the hardware versions even more valuable because people will go, holy shit, these things are cool. Wonder what the real one sounds like. Some of them maybe not as much as others though. Anyway, good to see. Chatties are saying some nice stuff about it too. Yeah. Some people still have some dearly held opinions about, the traditional Moog stuff being that's where it belongs. And that's fair enough. You're allowed to be like that. I don't know. I like to sit on the fence with these things. Right. So, what do we got now? Moogerfooger's out the door. Next thing is this thing. The Exquis. I'm going to call it the Exquis, which I guess is kind of short for exquisite, by Intuitive Instruments. And this is a Kickstarter program campaign, and they're calling it an affordable, expressive MPE and CV controller. Obviously, for me, the MPE and the CV stuff is right up my alley. I like all that sort of stuff. So anything MPE and anything CV is going to be good. Okay, so I think there was a video that I had queued up for this. I think. Yes, I did. Good. Cool. Let's do that. Here we go.
This is Exquis,
Well, there you go.
a new expressive and intuitive way to produce and perform music. Just pick a sound and record your best loops. Choose a scale and follow the colors to stay in tune. Exquis is a keyboard and an app you can play where you want, when you want, and how you want. Get easy access to harmony thanks to our award-winning note layout, putting notes that sound good together next to one another. The Exquis keyboard and app work with any software, any MIDI controller, and even with MIDI and modular synths. Direct your songs live, or program them in advance.
So you guys get the idea. It's kind of a loopboxy / MPE / CV controller. Andy, I thought of you when I saw this thing. I thought, he's definitely going to be interested in this.
I wonder
why. But it is a Kickstarter project. Let me just show you the Kickstarter page before we start talking about it, because it does answer some questions that people have. That is, we got 22 days to go. They are over their goal. Yeah, it looks like they're over their goal.
Yeah, they're over their goal.
Which is awesome. So what are we looking at? I had it written down. Where did I have it written down? Somewhere here. It is, there's two different prices in there on this thing. 159 euros
There's lots
or
of options,
199
actually.
euros. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can say
The problem is there are a lot of options. The one to go for is in the UK it's the £200 deluxe pack, which gets you the full app and the actual controller with a case. It's got there's a version without even a case or something.
Yeah. This is the thing that annoyed me a bit, Ian, was that they had this. If you look at this one, right, it has the app Lite. This is one little thing that annoyed me. Why do that? Why not just put the app out?
Yeah, exactly. Just
like you're getting the hardware, give it the app. So this again, this has got the app Lite, and like you said, this is the 189 is the one with the app full, and the 199 is the app Lite again.
The deluxe. The 199 should be the one with the.
Oh, this is the
209.
App. So the 209 is the one with the pure pack, which has got the pure keyboard and the app full. But there was one above here that I said app full. Yeah. You do need the full app, really. There it is, 189.
Yeah. I was slightly tempted with this, except that it made me think I'm already doing this stuff with the instrument.
Yeah, you are.
And do I really want to learn another? Now, granted, the instrument was £1,500 when I bought it, and the cheaper one's £1,000. So it's not in the same ballpark in terms of cost. But if you want to get into MPE, this is a great way to go. You're going to have to learn to use it because the chord structure.
Ableton's a cheap way of getting into MPE if you've already got it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true.
You just don't have a hardware control. That's the only thing. So this thing's more. See, the instrument is linear. Horizontal. And this thing is kind of a vertical. It is
horizontal.
Yeah.
But you can have the instrument vertical if you wanted to. You can set it however you want.
Yeah, true.
In terms of different scales as well.
I mean, how much is an instrument? $1,500.
$1,000 for the small one, $1,500, $1,700 for the bigger one.
So it's a different ballpark. But I mean, it's an exceptional.
It is. Yeah.
Roger Lynn's little baby. But this thing it's cheap, 200, let's say it's 200.
I like it.
Cheap.
Yeah.
The question I've got is how good is this thing without the app? I mean, obviously it does send MPE and it does send CV, but then again, how good is this? What do you think, Andy? Do you reckon it would be only good with the app or?
I've seen the links, but I haven't had a chance to go dive into the site and actually get to the nitty gritty on it. So for the money, it seems like a pretty cool device. I already have a Axis 49 hexagonal, isometric keyboard thingy, which is I should have bought the Axis 64 because it had proper MIDI out as well as pitch bend mod wheels, but I was being cheap at the time and they were closing out their business, so I should have bought the better one. But
there's that Sensei mod thing as well, wasn't there?
There's all kinds. There's all kinds of stuff. So so I'm not against alternative controllers. Obviously, I like all the weird stuff, but this one is pretty cheap, and MPE is a nice add-on because a lot of things still don't do MPE properly. So it'd be interesting, Ian, if you had that hooked up to your what's the one modal synth that has MPE, the little guy?
Oh, the Sculpt.
Sculpt, yeah.
Yeah,
Sculpt, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how that works with it. Yeah.
With an instrument, yeah.
Oh, it works great with an instrument, I can tell you. I've tried it. I've been doing it quite a bit. In fact, the next EMOM, I'm going to use the Sculpt and the instrument and the circuit just together. That's my plan. But that's in November. So I need to put.
Did they claim this one will actually work separately with the Sculpt kind of thing, or does it need the software?
Well, they said it would work with any synth, didn't they, in the video? But
okay.
I have a slight concern, and you can only find out when you play it, about how it feels with MPE, because certainly some synths don't react as well as they should do. So Sculpt works great. I have the Micro Monster, and the Micro Monster, there's like a weird sort of latency delay.
It's a bit cheap on the CPU on that thing, I thought. I've always thought
the Micro Monster 2 might be better, but
it could be good.
In fact,
sorry to hear that, because the Dr. A effect's really good unit. It's too bad the micro mixer. Not so good.
it might be just the second version might be better. Yeah, I had a original. I moved it on. I thought same thing. I thought it was a little bit laggy in some degrees. Not everything, of course. Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, this thing's interesting. Do we have the photo up again? Yeah. I kind of feel this is interesting. The hexagonal pad thing. Can't remember what the other thing that was recently that had the hexagonal pad. That seems to be an idea with your visual logic, right? So when you're looking at sort of laying out notes in a sort of musical way, that does tend to sort of help us visually. It's a bit hard to sort of tell from this angle, but he mentioned it in the video when you sort of set your your key and your type of the type of chromatic sort of play you want. Dorian or whatever, right? That's going to blues or whatever. That's going to sort of help you visually. Right. And I kind of felt
the typical isometric keyboards like the Axis one I was talking about. When you go vertical, it's a triad. When you go diagonally, it's fifths.
Yeah.
And there was a way to do sevenths. I forgot, but so you learn the shapes, and that's why it's isometric. You just keep moving around the shapes.
Yeah. And that becomes muscle memory.
Shapes, and you got it.
Yeah, you got it. That's exactly.
Yeah, that's the same with the instrument.
Yeah.
No,
that's awesome.
I mean, somebody on one of the other shows said that it was a bit like an accordion. I play accordion. It's not like an accordion. It's because the layout of it is. I mean, yes, you could argue that they've because it's French. And the accordions are big in France and across. Well,
accordions, you're playing like this, though, aren't you? You're playing them
doing
like that.
Yeah. I mean, with this, you will be able to see the notes because it's the notes that are lit are in that scale.
Yeah.
So that's not how an accordion works.
Accordions are great fun because they are purely muscle memory. That's what's you have to learn how to play them.
It's weird. It's like playing a piano blind to some extent.
It's good though because
you can't watch what you do.
Your body is forced to go right. This is going to sound like crap unless I actually learn where to put my hands and my fingers. That's one of the things I like about accordions. Yeah, I have fun with them too. Okay, so we've still got more. Quickly see what the chatties are saying about the. Well, he called it the Exquis, as in Exquis. Sorry, so it's like a key sound. Exquis. I thought Exquis sounded better because it's like short for exquisite. Gave it a bit more of a, prestigious name. Anyway, each to their own. That's good. Next, what about this thing? No, it's not a phone. Yes, it is a phone, but it's not. It's what's on the phone that we are going to be checking out. I don't know. I thought I'd seen this before. Is this a repeat release? I don't think I think this is a new thing. This is Ableton Note. This is going to be pretty cool, this thing. I'm definitely going to get my hands on one of these. I think, what is it, $6 US or something in the App Store?
Yeah.
Five.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Seriously.
After what I was saying last week. So.
Yeah. See, Darren, you might be able to get yourself something new.
All the way.
Exactly. Just a warning, it's a bit chunky.
It's a bit chunky.
I tried to install it. I need to make some room for it. So.
It is. It's
Oh,
got
wow.
the reason for it is, Andy, is because it has a sound library in it, and it's pretty extensive. It's
Exactly.
got what did I read that? 25. Hang on, I read it somewhere. Anyway, it's got its own sound library, right? And notes and synth engines and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's relatively big. Now, okay, so Cubase have got an iOS app, which is it's going gangbusters, with Steinberg's iOS Cubasis or whatever it's called. And a lot of people rate that. This to me seemed a little bit more simpler in terms of its workflow, and this is probably going to gel well with people that just want to sort of tinker. You're sitting on the bus or you're waiting, in the waiting room with the doctor's surgery, whatever, and you can just instead of
it's a sketching pad.
It's a sketching pad. Instead of instead of watching TikTok or whatever, you can actually make some music. And the cool thing I liked about it is that when you finish making your little jam or whatever you're doing, you can actually export this and you can bring it into Ableton Live as a proper, Ableton thing, and then you can go and make it sound even better in there. So, thoughts, guys? Who wants to go first?
Well, I was going to say I thought it should have been free, but actually I didn't realise that it had a whole sound pack with it. So the six quid's a no-brainer if you've got Ableton Live. You can already do this with GarageBand. There are lots of other things out there that'll do it. I've been sent something called Demo, which you use on your phone or your iPad, and you can actually record into it as well. And it's got built-in chord structures and all that sort of stuff. I haven't really got my head around it yet, but so there are things out there that will already do this. But if you're using Ableton Live, then it is a no-brainer.
Yeah. Some people are saying it's pretty similar to Tem Exile's Endless app. I actually haven't seen that myself, but I think your point, Ian, is that because if you're an Ableton person, and you haven't got something like this, you'd probably go for that.
There was something, I was talking to Robbie on Thursday, and I have something which I've had for a long time, and it was part of Propellerhead originally, and I've forgotten what it's called. And
the Reason stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's just a little app. I remember buying it back in the day, but I can't find it now. It's on here somewhere.
Yeah. Was it the RE thing? The RE...
no.
Well, that was a Windows app, wasn't it?
Figure. It's called Figure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Geez, that was a little while ago now.
So,
is that still around?
Yeah, actually, it is still around. I haven't been in it for so long that I now need to set up an account, which I never used to do. So, but it's just still there. It is still there.
Spinny wheel.
Yeah. Oh, the Reason one.
It was part of Reason, and then they sold it on and it became Figure.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was the same sort of price. That was about $5 when I bought it back in the day. And I used it for a little while. It's probably not as sophisticated as this. This seems like it's got an awful lot more going for it, But as a small sort of sketch pad, it was great, Made some beats on it.
There's also the Akai MPC app as well that kind of does similar stuff as well. And you bring, VST kind of libraries or whatever you call it into it. So it's, I think a lot of...
still Groovebox by Amplify Innovation. That thing is really wild.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Lots of synths, drum machines.
Launch Key was good as well.
Launch Key's all right, but it's more of a loop player.
My son plays with Launch Key all the time.
Yeah.
And he's only 8.
Groovebox is better for making your own from scratch. Launch Key is more like a loop.
There's another one from
thing.
Innovation as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot out there, but as we said, if you're sitting on a park bench, Darren, and this is what, with your iPhone in your lap.
This is what I'm saying. This is perfect for me because when I say I've got loads of ideas and stuff to sketch down, and because I'm not in the studio that often, this is perfect because I can, like you say, if you're an Ableton user, then it's just going to be brilliant. And there's a lot of other stuff on the market as in apps, but for people like me who just use Ableton and your studio, if I'm out and I've got my phone or even my iPad, I can just sketch down ideas that I've got, and then I come straight home. Like say, you can put it into the Ableton cloud that they've created. Everything's just going to work seamlessly, I hope, and I would expect it to anyway. And I can just airdrop it straight into Ableton Live, and I carry on. Off I go.
Yeah.
So for me, it's
instead of a hard bastel, you have a soft bastel.
Exactly. But it could be. My part bench has gone from a huge bench now to a small bench.
Just don't put your bastles upside down, though. That's all I say. That's a different type of bar, that one, where the bastles are upside down. Right. I think we hit the end of the news, didn't we? I think that's the last. Oh no, there was one more. This was more. I like to kind of keep everyone's in advise if you don't know about this. Who here has got an SQ64? Put your hand up, Andy. Put your hand up. Yeah, you do. Guess what? Firmware update, my friend. And the firmware update you're going to like. You haven't even probably played with yours very much yet.
I didn't even turn it on yet, to be honest.
So the firmware update is actually pretty handy. It's got, what did I say it had? Drum pad mode, improved step input, record quantize, step record, shift latch, and there's a few things that it didn't fix, which is a little bit annoying. But the step recording frustration thing is something that they fixed, I think, which is actually really cool. So those people
is that the main complaint? I haven't read much about it.
It was the main complaint. Yeah, it was about the you can now add and edit, add and delete notes from the sequencer while holding down the step button, which was kind of a frustration. It was not as bad, but do you remember like how bad it was to do step programming on a TB303? It was kind of heading down that path. So they've improved it somewhat. It's not as bad as that. I'm just kind of making a comparison where if you can't add and delete notes in steps, it's kind of a bit frustrating to go back and restart the whole thing. Yeah. Other than that, it's pretty cool. So there was a sale, Mr. Wagoo, in the SQ64. It was a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, not anymore. I think if you live in Australia, though, you can get them cheap at the moment. So they must have heard me. Well, CMI Australia must have heard me have a little rant. Maybe my video got out there. But yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty in stock in Korg in the UK, I believe.
Yeah. They definitely need to have another sale, but instead of just making it country specific, they need to meet a worldwide. So that they announce that the whole world knows, right? You can't really hide things now from the world when you announce stuff on YouTube and stuff.
Doing that with the OP6 and stuff was kind of shady. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is that Korg in other countries, some countries have distributors. Like I think in the US, they've got a distributor.
Australia does.
In the UK, it's a separate little company. So those individual companies are doing those sort of deals. That's why there's no OP6 deal here, and that's why people thought that the OP6 was discontinued.
But in the UK, they have it's not just a distributor. In the UK, they're actually a Korg dealership as such. So they are actually an arm of Korg.
So they're down in Milton Keynes. Great place. Went to the factory once, had a look around. Well, it's not a factory as such, but it's a
warehouse.
They've got offices and a whole lot and stuff. Yeah, warehousing and all that sort of stuff as it comes in. I mean it is, and they run the whole thing from there as a UK based company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, in Australia,
it's just different in different countries.
It's just a distributor, and they're called CMI, and they do other products, and they do Korg stuff, and they do it well. But the thing is, what I don't like about that setup is that you've got a company buying from Korg, and then they're selling again to a shop, and then they're selling again to the end user. So there's too many fingers in the pie in that sort of setup, and I don't like that. I know Australia's got, and we've only got 25 million or whatever we've got here. It's a small little place, but See, Behringer used to deal with them, and they said no more. We're just gonna sell direct, and as a result, the prices went down, and that's proof that getting rid of some of that sort of middleman stuff helps, but then again, it puts pressure on the international, shipping and stuff like that. So I understand there's pros and cons, but from a business point
there
of
is,
view,
I've just seen Waggo's just said in the chat that it's a shame that UK Korg don't do the microcast anymore. It is, and there's a story there, but I can't tell you the story. That's not me teasing. It's
private. Yeah.
Fundamentally, the guys would like to continue to do it, but there's other things involved.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say. It's a real shame because if nobody's ever seen it, you can still hear it on in podcast land, but the microcast podcasts are great. There was Luke and Adam, and
it was cool. Yeah, it was definitely cool.
Yeah, you know. So
I bet you.
I did feedback to Korg directly because at the end of the year you always do a questionnaire thing, and I did say to him, "You've got to bring microcast back," but it hasn't come back, which is a shame.
Yeah, you know? Korg probably have somewhere in Japan. They probably have a bottom drawer where they have a whole bunch of stuff that they need to work on.
It's a marketing. I think it's a marketing thing.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Electronics.
So Ian, as a retailer, do they give you lots of good information that you can't talk about, or is it just occasional stuff?
Occasional stuff. I got to know about the SQ update about it's beginning of this week, but there was no embargo on that really.
No, that's just
the real embargo. Yeah. Sometimes there's an embargo if it's a new piece of equipment, and we get to find out a few days before everybody else. You know,
the firmware stuff.
I have actually asked
usually is from Korg. It's usually direct, whereas Akai will run it through a beta program first, and they ask people to do NDAs on that. So Korg do it a little bit better, I think. Yeah, keep going in.
I have actually asked because when I replied when they sent me the email, I did reply because it came through Adam, my area rep, and said, "Is there a drum log here in the UK, a review one?" There may not be because obviously most of the reviews were done abroad. Really, I did say that I'd like to do a review and compare it to the TRS-8. So I asked, but I'm not really holding out much hope at the moment. You know, so but watch this space if I actually get my hands on a drum log before anybody else.
Yeah. QRDNK in the chat was saying I should just buy stuff from the UK, and I do. I was I could probably show you a list of things that I bought from businesses like Gear for Music and Elevator Sound, and God, the list is quite long. Anyway, the reason why
if you buy from Signal Sounds, they give you a can of haggis.
I can't spend any more than $1,000 Australian though of an overseas purchase. If I do, then I cost myself duty, and the duty costs are insane. They charge you, don't just charge you a rate for duty, they charge you a duty and then they charge you a fee to process the duty, and then they hold your bit of gear in customs until you pay it. So it's an embargo until you pay it. And I can only accept credit card, and it's all sort of, you know, it's a scam really. It's a government scam, duty, I think. But anyway, and then on top of that, you have to pay GST. You guys have VAT, same thing. So by the time I've done that, I might as well just bought it from a retailer here. And there's only a few occasions where I've gone, nut stuff, I'm going to pay the duty, where it makes sense. And one of those recent ones I got was the S2400. I paid duty on that because it was worth it. By the time I paid duty and the exchange rate and I paid GST and all the fees, it still was cheaper than waiting another 12 months to get it. And then by the time it came available here in any of the retailers, it was like, well, how much did it go up by, Andy? The S2400, it went up from 900 to 1500 or something, wasn't it? It's quite a lot, wasn't it?
About double.
Yeah.
950, and then it was actually not quite double. Yeah, it was about 1700, I think, or something.
Yeah. So you can see, like, that time you would just go, yeah, it's worth it. You're going to save money. But in most cases, no, you wouldn't touch it. Right. We need to move on because we've got through the news, by the way. Wow, how long did that take?
Yay!
An hour and 15 minutes. That's a big news.
Yeah.
I think we might squeeze one more segment in because I kind of feel, we're getting close to the end of the show. Let's do this. We'll squeeze one more in because I've got a few things lined up for this. What are we starting off with? Hey, nothing to do with synths. Wow. Hey, wouldn't you
Really?
love it if you
Really?
held on to that? Now, these were pretty cool. These were the ones that had the A and the B cassette, so you could actually you could dub a tape whilst you're sitting on the bus with your mate. You could say, "Oh, you got the latest Pink Floyd album? Can I get a copy?" So you could do that as long as your batteries didn't run out. This is a live auction, actually. I think it's actually still. Let me see if it's working. That's a graphic, by the way. But the live auction's here. Here we go. Shall we buy it? I thought I'd show you that there's a photo somewhere here of it with the tapes. Yeah, with the tapes open, so you can see kind of how it worked.
Looks like it's the metal case one as well.
Yeah, the metal case one. They were pretty good quality from mine.
There were I had the Iowa one, which was the recordable one.
Yeah.
Just a single, but
where is this? It's in the UK. It's in London. Yay! I don't know if it's worth £600 though. Just quietly.
no, it's not. No, absolutely not.
Who's got one of these still lying around? I've got a Walkman, but I don't have that one.
I've got one on eBay for about. It's not that one, but I've got
I've got a red one.
I think it's a Sony one, later one from the 2000s, £20. I think I'm selling it for.
I've got
they
two.
Aren't worth that. They aren't worth. Yeah.
I've got a CD version of the Walkman, and it's silver, and I've got the cassette version, which is red.
Yeah,
and it's got the
CD
orange
version.
The red one's got the orange headphones, the famous orange headphones. Yeah. Which
is the phone still intact? They usually degrade.
No, the orange is all
on mine.
Yeah, it's all yucky.
Yeah.
But it's still there. I just don't touch it. It's just don't touch it. It looks okay, but don't touch it. What else we got? That one.
Hey, Randy, check private chat. I sent you another one.
Okay, if I've got time, mate. If I've got time. If not, we'll just put it for next week. If we've got. Okay, what the hell is that? That's not what I want. Where's my little pictures gone? Here we are. This one, the Korg Trinity or DW8000, DW6000, blah 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 blah. Replacement battery for $589. Are you friggin' kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's taken the.
And they've got 6 in stock.
That's taking.
It's that special packaging. They have the special packaging on it that you can't get elsewhere.
Yeah,
it's a live auction, people. Here we go. We can get it. $930 Australian. Wow, nearly $1,000. That would have to be the most expensive battery I've seen for a synth. That's insane. That is insane.
It's from Roma.
It's just a little 3-volt battery,
Roma.
guys. You could probably
exactly.
You could probably get a 3022 from your local electronics store and make a little thing that it sits in. Or probably butcher the thing that's already in.
I don't even know how they come up with that price. I mean, it's like,
I mean, Kent would do it for a lot less than that.
Kent's probably thinking,
He's just bought a lot of small battery now.
Actually, hang on, we better make sure it's not his listing. No, it's from Italy.
No, it's in Rome.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, so that you guys think that was a good one. This has to be the best price watch thing that I've found, maybe to date, but definitely all year. Are you ready? Here we go. Here we go. Let's even do this. Oh, well, that didn't work. Hang on. I'm in the wrong key. Ready?
Yeah.
Here it is here, people. There's a store called Empire Guitars, right? I don't know if you guys could see that. What I'll do is I'll go to the live site. This is live, where you can buy, scam much, people, a Prophet X Hybrids for $92.99 or a Pro 3 Standard for $91.99 or a Prophet 10 for $93.99. Prophet Rev 2. So yeah. I don't know if I would be parting with money through these people, but this has to be. I've definitely finally found the scammiest scam of them all. Most of them are like within a few dollars of each other.
Yeah, but I'd be more intrigued to find out what you actually got, if anything.
A color photo printout.
Is it a little?
Yeah.
Is it one of those fridge magnet things? Free shipping in the US.
Cool.
Or a magnet,
What are the chatties saying about that one? That has to seriously be the best. And
he's going to buy all of them.
Please, people, do not go and put your credit card over this website. You will never see your $90 again. You might think it might be a bit of fun, but I can suggest a lot better ways of spending $90, like maybe down at the bar might be a good start.
Just make sure you have their address so you can send Bruno over there to straighten them out.
Bruno probably comes from there. That's how you're not getting your $90 back. Oh, people. Fridge magnet art or whatever. I don't know what you're going to call that. But yeah, brilliant, wasn't it? Price watch of the year, that one. Yeah. I knew I'd find one. I mean, look, batteries are pretty bad. There was a few good ones. The Sony Walkman, I don't know if I'd... Look, all I'm saying is, like, if you see prices on this show and you think something like this guy says...
Telling me, Dream.
I think you probably are right. Darren, how many cents are you going to buy for $92.99 US this week?
Probably none, because I can't afford the 92, but I think the battery was the word, because those synths were just like, just don't even believe it at all. The battery is just amazed me. It's like, I can't believe it. It's nearly, well, probably with the postage, it would be 1,000.
Well, it's 1,000 Australian.
1,000 for the...
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just, yeah.
It's a million Zimbabwe dollars. I keep pressing the wrong pad. I'm now pressing MPC pads accidentally instead of... Personal problem. Yes, the guys in the chat were talking about getting scammed. Darren said, I got scammed on Facebook Marketplace this fortnight over an RC505 Mark II. Sent $540 and then he disappeared without sending. Ooh, how are you going to get your money back, mate? That is nasty.
Well, if it's through, it's Facebook Marketplace. Oh, no.
Yeah, if it's PayPal, him, it might be okay.
Yeah,
it's like Craigslist, right? It's kind of open.
Yeah. Oh, that stinks.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Yes. Anyway, I'm not really sure what to think about that. Hope whoever is getting their money back.
I hope he gets it back.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah.
250
mTOR for sure.
£260. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've shown you guys the DW6000 that I bought off eBay years ago, didn't I? Pretty sure I showed you that.
You'd never show me that.
Why don't I show it again? It's probably been a few years since I've shown it. Let's go here.
6000's a nice keyboard.
So if you go to my website and you search for DW6000, and then you click on bad eBay purchase. Gee, 2014. That's getting on a bit. Here we go. Photos and all. December 2013. I bought this.
There's no power socket.
This is what I bought.
Oh. That's
it actually
looking good.
It actually was a DW6000. So I didn't get something. Look how beautiful and clean it is too, by the way. So basically, what's happened is this person who lived in the US and sent it to Australia probably found this in a tip.
Oh man!
Ouch! Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. And there's more.
Kent can make it right as rain. So
yeah, he can.
Looks like someone was killed with those keys.
Yeah.
That should be in the bloody evidence cage. Yeah. Right, and here's the picture of the box. Now, the reason why I want to show you the box is because this is actually how the synth came back. She was actually nice enough to put it in a box, but there was no bubble wrap, nothing. And literally down the bottom of the box, look at all the bits of rubbish that are in the bottom. There's a coin there, there's fluff, there's mouse poo, there's parts of the synth. You can see plastic parts of the synth there.
Oh, man.
And you can see
And that was it, no padding.
that part
right? Just in
there
the box.
is in the bottom of the box. That part of the synth there is in the bottom of the box.
Wow.
And how it was damaged. So, and you can see it was eBay because it's Pitney Bowes that sent it. Yeah. Anyway, these are all the things that they say on the thing. Great condition. I don't think so. This is the listing. It said great condition, needs a new power cord. It doesn't just need a new power cord. It needs a new power socket. Tested and fully functional. How did you test it? What did you test it with?
Was this the impetus to set up the scam segment? Is that that way you started the scam segment?
That's why I started the scam segment, because, you know, skin in the game. This is the photo that was on the original listing, by the way. So this is the photo that they sent on the original listing. And this is the same. I took so that photo there is what they sent, right?
Oh, man.
And you can see there's no scratches or anything on that. And this is the photo
it's a stock photo.
of the same area. So you can see it was a complete scam. Anyway, luckily for me, I managed to get my money back, minus freight. So I actually had to send it back to her. This is the problem with eBay. I had to send that, even though I've definitely been gypped. It's a scam. I had to actually send it back to the US at my cost, back to her. And then I said, okay, so what if she said she's never received it? What am I going to do then? Yeah. And eBay said, well, if we don't hear anything from her after so many days, 60 days or whatever it was, we'll just automatically give it back to you. What if she does reply to you and says, I never got it back? No, the whole thing is set up for being scammed. I think the system is stupid. So anyone who does want to buy things off of eBay or Reverb or Craigslist, please be careful. It doesn't always end up being bad like that. I've bought plenty of things.
No.
You know.
I mean, we sell an awful lot through eBay. We don't have many problems. We occasionally have things. The worst thing that ever happened is we sent a keyboard to, I think it was the Isle of Wight, which is obviously it's in part of UK, and apparently it never arrived, and it just disappeared. It disappeared in shipping. It was tracked, and so eBay actually couldn't do anything about that. We had to stump up we had to refund the customer. Actually, we didn't refund them. We sent them another one, but we used a different.
During the week, that happened to Starsky, didn't it? Didn't that happen to him? Where he's got CCTV footage of some guy walking out with his synth in a box.
Yeah.
But I don't know the full story about that. But wasn't there something about it being? It was every Hermes thing where they didn't scan it or something. I'm like I say, I don't know the full story.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
Because what happens is, we don't use Every very much. We use Yodel through an intermediary.
Yeah.
If somebody buys something from us, we would then take it to the local. They scan it there and they give me a receipt, so I know it's in the system. So if it disappears, then I can get my money back.
Yeah.
And we always insure.
Mm.
You
I mean, that year, 2013, probably it was December 2013, 2014, I bought quite a lot of vintage stuff around that time, and I was probably lucky that was the only one that I had drummers with. I mean, I spent way over $1,000 US on an MKS 70, and that came from the US. But the person that I bought that off is a well-known synth refurbisher / reseller, so I was pretty safe with that. And I was lucky. It ended up being Nick Kershaw's old synth too.
It's always good to look at how many negative responses they've got, because I mean, a lot of the time we sort of forget about that, but just have a look. I mean, we've got 100%, we've just hit over 1,000 1,000 people that are responsive, in fact, we saw more than that, but, and all of those are 100%.
Reviewed.
We've got no negative reviews. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks, Darren.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's the same on. People tend to review less on reverb, but just check what other people have said.
Yeah.
We did have one we had one negative. One guy who didn't actually buy anything from us. He said he was going to buy something, then didn't buy it. I didn't message him. He said I want to cancel it. Says that's fine. I'll cancel it over the weekend. And then in between that time, he posted a negative 1-star comment, and we got eBay to remove that because he didn't buy it and he didn't,
Right.
Lucky you can get him to remove that.
That's another thing to do is also check the negative, see what the actual negative, what they've actually reviewed as negative, because sometimes it's not really worth worrying about what they've put in because it's something daft.
No.
Like Amazon show verified buyer in the comment, so it's not just some goofball.
Hey, those Google reviews, you can't even touch those things. So if someone sends you a 1-star Google review, you have to just about have a judgment by a magistrate in the court or something like that to get rid of it. It's ridiculous. So stay away from Google reviews. They're nasty, those things. Okay, so the guys are talking in the chat about bad deals gone wrong. Poor Darren, poor Dazza. Anyway, I hope you get your money back, mate. Definitely do whatever you need to do to fight that. I would. Just to remember to, whilst I am on my website, the blogs of each of the shows are published usually within about 24 hours of the show going live. I do have some editing to do to actually show, but I can show you last week's blog just to give you a quick refresher. It shows who was on the show. You can watch the replay of the show. It's got links to all the images that I showed on Funny Side, all of the products that we show, links to the products. So it's all there forever to sit in there. Even the price watch segment's in there, see? So we've got that. I always do screenshots so that we don't ever lose them. Name That Synth is there. That was a good one from Makeshifter, brilliant one from Makeshifter. And then if I do any sort of kind of weird stuff like Timberwolf and Make Noise, Mimiffin, I always put some things on there. So yeah, you can find those on the Ranzee.com website. Bit of, I saw that on Ranzee show. Where do I find it? The easiest way, instead of having to scroll through 3 hours of live stream, it might be quicker just to jump on the blog and see if it's on there. If that helps, hopefully. Now, a couple of news things.
My worst horror story for shipping stuff actually wasn't a scam. It was actually he used the UPS store to package it and ship it, and they did the worst job ever on packaging my poor Yamaha EX5, and it came rattling in the box.
Ouch.
End cap busted, keys busted off. I mean, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then it took about 6 months with UPS back and forth to finally get my money back. But I did get a full refund, and I didn't have to send it back.
I sold a XP30, Roland XP30, and I wrote it was an eBay listing, and I wrote in the eBay thing that shipping and handling is extra, and if you want to ship it, you have to pay for your own shipping and handling, because these things are going to, to package these things and make sure that they are shipped properly is quite expensive, because you've got to use bubble wrap, and then you've got to put them in a box, and you've got to put little bits of foam in there so it doesn't sort of get all squashed, or, there's a lot into it. So he sends this guy around to my house to pick the synth up. And the guy that bought it lives in a different part of Australia, like Queensland, which is right on the opposite side of Australia. And I said to this guy that picked it up, I said, because it was all rigid. I knew this guy the guy messaged me, said, this is the name of the guy. You can check his ID. It should be this. So I did all that to make sure it wasn't some guy scamming me. He picks it up, and I said to him, so how are you going to send this? And he goes, I'm just going to chuck it like this in the post. And it was just the synth without anything on it. And he goes, I'm just going to chuck it in the post to my mate because he hasn't given me any money to send it. And I went, you're kidding me. So hang on, I said, hang on a minute, just wait there. And I went into my cupboard, and I've got like rolls of bubble wrap that I've got for, work stuff. And I wrapped this thing up like the proverbial bubble wrap. I probably did about 300 kilometers of bubble wrap on this thing. And I said, look, at the very least, and I taped it up with, tape and bubble wrap. And it was, you probably could have played footy with this thing. and XP30s are pretty heavy synths, right? And I said, look, at the very least, I've probably spent $30 on bubble wrap here. At least if you're going to chuck it in the post, this is probably going to survive somewhat now. And the guy's looking at me going, oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, imagine the other guy in Queensland getting this synth. It would have been, you know, it would have been in pieces because couriers
Will they take it without a box though? Doesn't it still need a box?
Don't know.
I mean the service. The service.
Well, you can't send anything here. Yeah, you can't send anything here without a box or some sort of plastic packet, plastic covering.
Well, for me, he just picks it up. So, you know, it's a local collection. You don't have to put in a box. But yeah, it was weird. It was just weird, and I thought, oh, here we go. I was just ready. Like the next couple of weeks, I thought I'm going to get a message from eBay. It's going to say blah blah blah. And I'm like, yep, ready for it. So I insured it just in case. I insured the listing because it's an extra cost that you can put on there. And I was ready for just to claim. And I never heard anything from this guy. So hey, sometimes you dodge bullets. So yeah, the thing with me is I've got a heart. Like I just can't see people like tripping over that like that. It's just I just can't see it. It's a synth at the end of the day. Please look after your synths, people. Like don't trash them. Yeah, this guy had no.
So you're saying wrap it in bubble wrap before you throw it at the screen?
Yeah.
Hang on, is it this fun?
There you go.
There you go.
Just like David Letterman.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're done, gentlemen and Darren. We're done.
Oh,
Can I make a quick comment about the Strymon thing from earlier?
Yeah, go for it.
Just so Strymon makes great stuff. Obviously, I never bought the hardware, but I always wanted to. But then I came across the Dr. A, the Source Ventris, and then that little FX8 module for modular, which has incredible algorithms in it.
It does.
So you don't always have to go for the top of the line Strymon stuff. You can get really great sounds out of some other modules and pedals.
Yeah. So. The Dr. A is amazing, and the FX8 is amazing, and the FX8
is crazy.
It's got Eventide and Strymon algorithms in it. I don't know how they get away with that. It's probably something under the table there, Darren. Under the table.
Yeah. Who says they're the same algorithms? It's a bit like when trying to copy something. No, it's not.
Well, in that blue sky there, big sky, whatever it's called, there's a chip in short, and I'm sure there's a way of you pulling the code off of that chip if you're clever enough. There'd be a way. So
well, it's like the BIOS reverse engineering that Compaq did back in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough.
Oh, it's like Pagan who hacked the firmware of the Volca FM. Wasn't that brilliant? How he did that? No. And now all of a sudden, any person who's got a Volca FM, and obviously they brought the second one out, but any person who had a Volca FM before they brought the second one out was able to sort out the velocity issue that it had with it, which was a major benefit. So people know how to do it. Yeah, FX8 for the win. By the way, FX8 is probably one of the least noisiest FX modules, and I'm not talking about just for Eurorack. I'm talking about in any setup that I've ever heard. It's really good quality. So what they're doing, do more of that. I think Makeshifter got one the other day. He's in chat. He was talking about it. There you go. He's already hit right on cue. He just received his this week. I might get a second one. Brooksy's got one. I might get a second one. The one I've got is just the FX8. I didn't get the FX8 XL. So I might get a second one which has got the XL because you've got a few more CV controls, haven't you? Which are handy. Anyway, other than that, yes, we shall finish the show. Darren, any head on to your channel by 4 o'clock UK time tomorrow. You'll see something.
Yes, you'll see the last in the trio of backwards till the end tomorrow. So yes, the last one in the that's tomorrow. for
Good.
about 4 o'clock or before, somewhere around that time.
Okay, Darren's channel link is in my video description, as with Andy's and as with Ian's and as with Brooksy's. They're all in the video. You're doing a hardware jam, Andy?
Always. I've been a fiend ever since November when I started doing them. So
look out for that. Probably Monday-ish, right, for you? By the time that gets up.
And I may do another micro live stream this weekend if you guys like that. Tune in. I'm not sure what time. I never do it. I never schedule like I should, but
yeah, if you do it kind of late Sunday, it'll be early Monday for me, so that might be okay. Not pushing you into anything. Yeah. Anyway, cool. And Ian, anything happening your end?
Yeah, I'll be putting a video out Monday, Tuesday, which is the first part of an interview with a guy called David Joseph. And for those of you who like Talk, he's the guy that's sort of put an album out that's a homage to early 80s Talk stuff.
Wow. Nice.
No, not early 80s, late Talk, late 80s, the sort of more explosive stuff. So we were talking for about an hour and a half. I'm chopping the video up into 3 parts. So the first part will be out Monday, Tuesday. I've just got to, I've done the editing. I've just got to top and tail it really. So that's it from me really. Oh, and band practice tomorrow. That'll be good. That'll be interesting.
Good stuff.
Getting in a room with people to play music could be fun.
Yay, band practice. Nothing bad. Yeah. One other bit of news from me is those people who are channel members or Patreons will get a nice little surprise this week. Not going to say any more than that, but some people will probably find it useful, and other people might think, I don't really need to know that. But this will be the start of some things that I'm planning to do in that particular realm. So, and the people that don't have channel membership, you'll get to see a very small window into what channel members will get and Patreons will get. So watch my channel this week. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give the guys who are here today a thumbs up, please, because, like I said,
one other quick thing before I forget. Synthplex next week, so I'll try to join live for a bit from the show. If you want to see some stuff.
Is that next Saturday? Is it?
It is. It's actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I think Thursday is just a setup night.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure when the doors open, so maybe I may just be showing you the outside of the building. I'm not sure yet. So
yeah, I don't think they'll be open at
show us the floor, Andy. Show us the floor.
So is it
all the brick outside and all the
Is it next weekend?
All the floor.
Is it next weekend, or have you already had daylight saving start in the US? It has, hasn't it?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
Maybe this weekend.
All right. So the UK is next weekend coming up, or this weekend, sorry, coming up.
Yeah, ours will be. The show will be on before it goes though, because ours will be on the
Sunday
night,
yeah, okay. Morning. So the show will be normal time. The show won't change anyway, the time anyway, so it'll be the same. Right. Anyway,
that's true, yeah.
Awesome having everyone. Thanks to the chatties. Thanks to the video guests. Awesome, and we will see you all next week with another episode, providing everyone doesn't die.
Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Take care.
Ciao.